Hey, everybody. And we are live. Hopefully, everybody can hear me. Mike keeps telling me that I'm cutting in and out. So we'll see. We're supposed to get some weather here. So we'll see how long that lasts. Um, how's everybody doing? Um, yeah, we're down some people today. Jason is still in Wales. So I'm sure that there'll be some people that'll be upset about that. And I think Paul is going to jump on a little bit later when he gets home. So today, as usual, we got Ducato, Troll Den Painting, and Mike from Thunderstruck Workshop. And and we're going to be talking about combat and RPGs and non-combat systems and combat light systems and all sorts of fun stuff. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But first, as far as gaming goes this week, I was supposed to be at WizardCon this weekend, and that got canceled. Got canceled at the last minute. Kind of bummed me out because I would have gone. There were two other conventions going on. MEPA had their 50th convention, and well, they cheated. They do two a year, so they got the yeah, they
50 fast.
They didn't cheat. It wasn't 50 years, right? It was the 50th one. So yeah, but no, congratulations to them. I would have gone. I know Leo was there running games even.
Yeah.
Leo was there. George was there.
George is there. Yeah, George is like always there. He's passing out flyers and stuff for me. So that was cool. The WizardCon. Well, no, I'm sorry. It didn't get canceled. It got pushed or rescheduled till October.
A week before.
Less than a week before. It
less
was
than
like
a week.
Monday.
Less than a week before. Yeah, it got.
Yeah.
And don't ask why, because.
Well, it wasn't the hotel's fault. It wasn't the convention's fault. That's all that he's saying.
It was.
I don't know.
It was somebody's fault.
It was probably somebody's fault. Maybe it was nobody's fault. It was one of those no fault situations.
Oh, okay.
Like the car insurance thing when you get
into
an accident.
New York car insurance, it's no fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
Okay.
No fault. So, yeah, cool, Matt. Saturday map will play 2 DCC, MCC, Weird Frontiers with Cyrus, which are awesome. DCC, MCC, Weird Frontiers with Cyrus is always amazing. I believe his games are already filled up for CNY. I believe he's running 3 games. I think he's running every session on Saturday, and they're all filled up. So, I may have to have him run some more. I don't know. We'll see. But that'll be fantastic. But yeah, and then Stan, you went to a convention this weekend that I also considered going to. That was
last weekend.
That was last weekend.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
It was great. They did a great job.
How many people
for their first year? I want to say somebody told me they had a little over 100.
And it was just a one day.
I don't know. Yep, it was Saturday. Started early. Doors opened at 7:30. The first game was supposed to kick off at 8. It was probably a little bit after that when we really got started. But it ran from our guest perspective. It ran really smooth. Like they were really good with it.
I think 8 o'clock is too early.
It was early. They ran 3 sessions that day, but they also had an hour between sessions, so you could, eat, right, socialize, whatever you need to shop, whatever you wanted to do.
We set up a half hour in between sessions for CNY, and we did. You can also order food to the table,
Yeah. So. They sort of well, I mean, I don't know if that was the case I think it was. They were doing that at the Elks. It was held at the Elks Club in Chelmsford, and they were doing that too. Like you went up to the bar, you could order food from a local place with a discount, like a 20% discount, or you could get food right at the Elks Club. And I did that, and mean, it was decent. It
Yeah.
was funny because we were in the I was in the private room for my 2 games that I was playing in, and
Oh, cool.
my back to the door, and the woman brought my food in, and she it felt like she kicked that door open and just shouted my name because we were all like, "What the hell?" Scared the hell out of me. I thought I was getting jumped, and brought our food in though. But they were great. The service was great. The staff there was Elks Club folks were great.
Yeah. Yeah, CNY RPG Con is still on, guys. I don't want there to be any confusion.
Yeah, no confusion there.
We'll shit work a lot if we have to.
Still going on June 12th through 14th. Yeah. No, so that's cool. 100 people.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah,
at
I think so.
was it what you said it was at a American Legion or something or what?
Yeah, Elks Club. Same
Elks Club,
thing,
sorry.
I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
similar.
What can they expand there if
Yeah,
can they have 200, you think, or?
yeah, I think they could because the main room, I don't know how many tables were there. There was at least 8 tables in there, and they could put more in there. The main room is actually, I thought it was really big.
Cool.
They could definitely do more. And then they have the private room for the private games. They can only hold like one of those at a time, but
Sure.
that's a good feature too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I remember what was it? Was it Saturday at CNY last year? I think it was Saturday. They had that. Maybe it was Thursday. They had that radio party or something. It was like because there were people coming over and asking me if I was Big Poppy. and I was, and
yes.
I got my
You should told me yes.
I was like, absolutely, of course.
Yeah, that was Saturday night. That was Saturday night. Like there was a huge influx in the restaurant.
Is this Big Poppy's party? And I'm like,
yeah,
we're a bunch of nerds rolling dice, and they're like, oh, and they just walk away like they're got creeped out. Yeah, Big Poppy. They had a party, but yeah, it was awesome. So, yeah, Bo, definitely. That was kind of my point, that RPGs are an evolution of wargaming. It does not mean RPGs do combat well, right? But we'll get to that.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's
what
true.
Did you pick up anything from the convention, Sam?
Not a lot. I mean, I grabbed just little things. I got an adventure that Tom Wilson wrote for Shadow Dark. A coin from my first year at ShireCon. He had coins that year, and I didn't get one, but he had some, so I was able to get that. And just some of the stuff. That was the one thing. I did a review of the con for my channel, and it wasn't a criticism. It was an area where I thought they could improve, and I'm sure they will as time goes on. Is they could have, there was definitely space for like more vendors and stuff like that. They had some good ones though, like Chet Minton was there, the artist. Like I bought a shirt off him and pin and stuff. He makes some really good stuff.
And, I'd actually looked at ShireCon to go as a vendor, and I wasn't exactly thrilled with the way they were setting it up, putting the vendors outside.
Yeah, they started that last year.
And the problem is it's the time of year. You could still have snow. It's I don't know. And I see he's already made the announcement for next year that they're pushing it more outside, more vendors outside. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I won't be going there. I'm not going to drive. I'm not going to drive 5-6 hours to be a vendor at a small con.
Yeah.
To be stuck outside and hope it doesn't fucking rain.
And that's what, September, October? Is that one?
End of September.
End of September.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, you could. Yeah, you're probably not gonna have snow up there, but
well,
no, yeah, you're not. You don't get snow in September.
No, I mean usually not.
Yeah, but it still could be hot, or it could be
hot,
cold.
Rainy. It could be cold.
And I could tell you from doing outdoor events before I got into all the gaming stuff, my 3D prints, you do not want them out anywhere in the heat.
Not in the heat. You don't want them in the heat.
Yeah, you set up your tent, you set up your tables, and I had one event where I was literally moving my tables every like half an hour as the sun kept moving to keep them out of it because I had stuff melt on me.
Yeah, I've nearly ruined 3D prints because I prime them outside and I just leave them, didn't think nothing of it, and then I go back and like I was like, holy shit, like
it's like a gelatinous cube.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, to his credit though, like any of the outside vendors, like they don't pay anything in his thing, and they had some last year. They started doing that last year. It was to give more room in the gaming area, which makes sense.
But I mean, I don't know, like Mike's saying though, like as a vendor, who wants to be outside?
Right. If think about it, if you go to the convention, you set up outside, and all else it does is rain all weekend, the vendors aren't making any money because nobody's coming
out there, right? And
with the way that's set up, you would still probably get people out there because they have to go out there to get food, and and it does have like a covered area, so I'm sure if. Well, I can't speak for him, but if things got extreme, I mean,
Roger and I have talked about, CNY. There's just enough space right now, but if you want to grow too much, at some point you have to look at another venue, because not only do you want to have more space for gamers, but you want to have more space for vendors and whatever else.
Mike, we're in June. Plenty of room in the parking lot for the vendors.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't quote me on this, but I don't really know as if Tom wants to grow it that big.
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't think he does. I think he's pretty happy with the size of it, and I know he likes that venue, which it is a nice venue. Like it is nice. The staff is great. The building's great.
Roger, maybe you could get him to open up the pool area, and we could set up tents around the pool.
Yeah. Oh my God. I asked them last year about like that, and they were very adamant. The hotel was great. All right. The hotel was great every step of the way. I got to preface that because but really they were fantastic, but they were adamant with me that the pool is for hotel guests only, not convention guests.
Yeah.
So they don't even want anybody out there. Now, I don't know who's going to police that or whatever.
No, wait. If I'm a hotel guest, because I've got a hotel room, I'm a hotel guest and a vendor.
There you go. I'm sure.
So if I wait till somebody's standing out there, can I just literally run off my booth, burst through the door, and jump in the pool?
Yeah.
See what they say?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
That would be fun.
I mean, you're staying there.
I'll come back in, I'll drip and wet and run my booth.
I was making jokes telling people to just tell them that they were rooming with me. See these 50 people? Yeah, they're all staying with me. They're, whatever. I mean, it's not like I think, it was the middle of June. I think maybe at most there were 4 people in the pool.
Yeah.
Ever. I mean, it wasn't like it was a big thing, So yeah, GaryCon, they shut down the water slides and stuff at
I saw the pictures of people there. All I could think of was these people sitting there playing games for 4 hours in the water park area. It's got to smell like chlorine and, just standard water park.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I don't mind that smell.
I don't know if I want to sit. I don't know if I want to sit playing games in it though. Yeah,
we could drain the pool,
drinks.
Put some game tables in there.
Yeah, why not?
But yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, CNY, we're gonna have that issue after this year, I think. This is our second year. After, immediately after this convention, I'm going to talk about it with a handful of people. You guys are one of them. Obviously Mike and Stan, and talk about, what, whether, we want to stay or I really don't want to grow too big, but I don't know if we can get,
well, I mean, we'll see how this year does.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
If this year tops out at 250, you're only 48 more than last year. There's no need to move yet. You know? If with walk-ins you're pushing 450 people, it might be time to. But I like the venue. The
first
year it was good.
It was really great.
So,
How many are you slated? Like, how many spots do you have in mind for this year that you could go to?
I can sell 300 badges. Now that doesn't include the vendor badges or the staff badges. So
just 300 straight up, yes.
So probably 350 is would be like the absolute max.
That would be a lot, I think, for that space.
We'll talk about it when we're there, but you got to see this other space that they have that I would love to use.
Do they have another space at the hotel?
We'll talk about it. You know, the basically the bar area.
Yeah.
The food area, not including the area, like that raised area where the bar is and like where the breakfast nook is, but just the floor space of, where of the dining hall or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another room that's a little bit bigger than that.
Oh, wow.
And it is filled with junk. It's filled with like all the pool furniture is in there. There's like cabinets that have been pulled out of rooms. There's like bed frames, and it's just like a catch-all for storage. A couple refrigerators, like things like that.
So if they clear that out.
So no, Paul, it's Utica. It's actually New Hartford, but Utica is the Amtrak station that you want to come to.
Syracuse. Now, Syracuse is CNY, but if you go into Syracuse, you're still an hour away.
Yeah. So now, Paul, if you are coming into Utica's Amtrak station is like 10 minutes from the hotel. Syracuse, like Mike said, it's like an hour, probably 45 minutes, 50 minutes from there.
Just if it's a lot. Do not go to Walmart in Utica unless you want to get stabbed.
If you're going to come into Syracuse and it's like a lot cheaper to go to Syracuse than it is to Utica, let me know. I can still try and make arrangements to grab you, especially if it's on like Thursday or something. We can do that. Wow, Dan is flying in from Chicago. Awesome.
Yeah, I am my face is just getting violated by all these messages today.
So yeah,
that was me last week.
Yeah. Mike messaged me. Was it last night?
Yeah.
You were like, night. What is going on over there? I was like, what are you talking about? You're like, oh, there's Walmart. It was like, here's this police report.
I had a link. It was like Walmart Utica. They had some big knife fight. People were taking knives off the shelves and using them to attack each other.
Crazy.
Oh,
crazy.
Hang on a second. There's my daughter.
So, yeah. So we, I avoid that place. I'm not a big Walmart fan. So generally I go to the one in New Hartford. So that's,
I don't the other direction. Very often. Once in a great while I'll go.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go, Paul. Just getting Dan's luggage, and I'm sure that'll be fine. So, yeah. If you guys want to do that and get a rental, that's fine. Otherwise, let me know when you're coming in and when you're flying out. If you guys don't want to rent a car, I can see what I can do. As far as getting somebody to pick you up and drop you off, especially if you're flying into like Syracuse or something, like I said, and it's an hour. And if it's like Thursday and Monday, I don't think that's going to be a problem. But, we'll figure all that out. So, yeah. So Walmart's bad. Stay away from Walmart. That's the thing. Yeah. You can get a chicken pot pie, an STD, and stabbed. Yeah. All in one shot. Absolutely.
Nice.
One trip, you get everything. And you could probably get the STD vaccine also when you go there. They probably got those. That's awesome. I'm an adult. Dan, most people who show up to conventions aren't they're not. I'm not an adult. All right, I'm not an adult. So, but yeah. So, yeah. So that's that. Yeah, Walmart's always an adventure.
When we were talking about the water park there, Dan said it was smelly, and he clarified a little bit, but I wanted to make sure: was it smelly because of the chlorine, or was it because of the gamers? Because it could be either way. Oof. In our hobby, you never know.
Oof. I would think that the chlorine would kind of mask
the
nerd.
Kill that bad vibe, yeah.
You know, but yeah. Oh man, yeah, smelly and humid as hell. It was gross.
Yeah.
Paul played Cosmere there first day, stank of chlorine. But at least the snack vendor was open. I couldn't. I don't think I could eat with the smell of chlorine. Because you taste that, you know, if it gets,
yeah.
So I don't know. That's rough. Yeah. Yeah. The answer is yes. Yeah. Cool. All right. These guys are gonna pretty soon. They'll be renting a tour bus or something to
yeah. Get one of those like Mercedes vans.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I was single, I'd probably sell my house and buy one of those.
So, oh God, that's
drive around.
Oh boy,
nasty.
Chubby's got some day job work to do, so he's relying on us to entertain him in the background.
Oh boy,
we'll do our best. We'll do our best. Yeah, no pressure, guys. No pressure, guys. But be funny for Chubby. All right. So. Yeah. So that was that. So Stan, what else? Did you pick up anything else or?
I didn't. No, didn't get a lot while I was there.
See, I got a problem when I go to conventions and I end up.
Well, it was just.
You got a problem.
There wasn't. There just wasn't stuff that I was super interested in. There wasn't a lot of there was some selling books and stuff, and I looked through them, but there was nothing I really needed. So I grabbed little things. I got this. I don't know what the hell I did with it, but I had this cool murder hobo sticker. That was pretty neat.
Cool.
I bought off of one guy, whatever. Then, cool. No, it's good. It was a good time though. It was fun. I saw Bloodworth there. He and I actually were in a game together. We played Dragon Slayer together and got to shoot the shit a little bit in between games, and that was fun. Yeah. And another guy, Mike Stengel, who I met at ShireCon and through YouTube and stuff like that. So that was fun.
Bo, I don't think the gaming conventions are on the decline nationwide. I think they're on the rise.
I think
especially post COVID. I think that
there's a ton of them in New England. I didn't realize it.
Between Critical Role and Stranger Things, and then COVID happening, I think a lot of people got into the gaming scene, and then didn't have a group or couldn't go out and get a group, tried to do stuff online. And now more and more stuff is starting to open up and people are talking about it more. And so I think conventions are on the rise. I don't know about in the Western US, but like Stan was saying, oh my God, there's one every 2 weeks.
Yeah. They literally had, this week they had, last weekend they had that OSR Con first time, just started up. And then this past weekend was Rising Phoenix. So there was guys that I played with. They were like, "Hey, you going to Rising Phoenix?" And I was like, "No, not this year," and stuff. But it's just, I didn't know until I started actually going to cons, like ShireCon and stuff, and learning about all these other cons. I mean, we got the one in Maine that's coming up later this year.
Yeah,
I might actually end up going to that, but working it with Crossroads because I think they're going to be.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, cool. I got to talk to my friend because he asked me about it a while ago if I'd be interested in working it, and I was like, "Yeah, why not? It's an experience."
Bo, that's. I think Roger just put that up there.
Go ahead, Mike.
That's how it was in New York too. I mean, in New York, we really didn't have any game conventions at all. There's a few little things like FlagCon, but we went there. It was, I don't know, it was a different type of environment. It was kind of one of those try and do everything cons. So they had a little bit of gaming, board gaming. They had Magic the Gathering, and they had everybody separated. So it was a weird little vibe there. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it didn't seem to have. They said their numbers do you remember what they said? It was a lot. It didn't feel like it when we were there.
Oh man,
we were there midday on Saturday.
Like 700 something or whatever.
Yeah, we were midday on Saturday, and they couldn't have had 200.
And I mean, it was weird because they had a bunch of different rooms, right? And they had like the miniatures rooms, which is where I'd expect to find all the Warhammer guys. And they had like 2 rooms, and they were all kind of separated by like curtains and stuff to segment like play spaces. And I purposely went in them and like walked up and down just to look in all like the little kind of areas that they had set up. And there were like literally 2 or 3 areas in those 2 big rooms that actually had people playing games in them.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was dead. The vendor hall maybe had the most people, but I mean, if there were 100 people walking around that vendor hall, that was,
but that vendor hall,
if there were 100 people, there was probably 100 people walking around the vendor hall with 50 of them sitting down at the tables, just kind of hanging.
You know, we walked around the vendor hall together, and you know, one of the things I noticed right away is they're obviously one of those conventions that will accept anybody that applies.
Yeah.
Because the vendors were all over the place. You know, it wasn't, you know, this one may not be doing gaming stuff. This one might do, what are those little those little plastic peg things that make graphics and you know, you'd have a vendor there making that stuff with anime characters. I'm like,
I just ordered a big bag of those for my daughter. She likes, she doesn't do them to sell. She makes them just to hang up or give them to her friends or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, Roger's going to have 6 soap vendors at CNY. So
yeah. Well, you got to get you got to get the soap and the candle vendors, and you got to put them next to each other so the aroma mixes.
Oh yeah,
competing smells.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you want at a game.
Imagine having the gaming table right in front of that.
Oh my god, I couldn't do it.
No.
I couldn't do it. I don't know if they did this online, but they opened up the store Buff City Soap in New Hartford. And it's all soaps. And it looked really cool looking in. We were walking by. I think I went to GameStop or something. I was walking by, and it looks cool because they got like, you know, hot dogs, and it looks like a real hot dog. You know what I mean? But it's just a soap thing. And so I like opened the door, and I got half a step inside the door, and I just couldn't go in there. It all hit me. My eyes started to water, and like the smell, and I was like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
That's the closest I've gotten into that thing. Yeah, selling soap to people who rarely use it seems like a waste of time. I mean,
we're just eating up our own hobby, aren't we?
Yeah. It's true though. Chubby says his prediction that we're about to experience an increase in TTRPG participation. We'll see what happens, right? Due to de-wokification taking place, and AI will put a premium on authentic human interactions. Probably. I think there's a lot of people online trying the ChatGPT Dungeon Master or Claude Dungeon Master or whatever, you know, Gemini Dungeon Master or whatever, and it's interesting.
Well, you know, you're gonna see more people entering the hobby because, you know, we talk about like Critical Role and those, but now of course WotC's decided they're going to have their own competing show, so they've got their primetime show coming up, which nothing for me, but it will bring new players in.
Definitely will.
You know, young kids that don't know anything other than D&D, you know, 5e, they're going to get it and be like, oh, let's watch this show. So
and for the record, Paul, I don't have any soap or candle vendors that I know of. I mean, there may be some vendors that have that stuff, but not anybody that's exclusive to that.
I'm going to stop doing terrain and just do soap and candles.
Yeah, 100% soap.
Yeah, 100% soap. Just soap miniatures.
Stan, I'll do the soap, you do the candles.
Yeah, perfect.
There you go. You guys could swap molds.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
She goes, oh, it also comes in a candle.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. What about you, Mike? What have you been up to? Did you get anything cool?
I did. What do you want first? You want my gaming or you want
whatever you want? Talk about it.
I got it right here.
The gaming's probably bigger, right? No, go ahead.
So I did get a few things. I got my custom Lulu book.
Nice.
Oh, how was that?
It fucking came out fantastic.
Now that looks about the same size as a DCC.
This is this thing is enormous. So it's the D6 rolls, the second edition, revised and updated, or revised, or whatever it's called. Revised and expanded is second edition.
Yeah, revised and expanded.
And this is the revised, expanded, and updated. So it's, you know, what they did was it's all the same rules, but they went through and redid it all in color, added graphics to it, organized it well. And I believe they added some of the supplemental books into it. It's nice. You know, we'll see. It's $38 for that. And I didn't go with the glossy covers like I did with my Dark Sun books. I went with the matte. It's got that soft feeling to it. It's nice.
Yeah.
You know, I've been looking for a post-apocalyptic game, and somebody recommended this to me, so I picked it up. This is for Savage Worlds. It's Darwin's World. Again, it's another freaking huge book, but I was flipping through it. I like it because it's hitting all of the marks that I like. First of all, there's no elves and dwarves and trolls. It's, you know, post-apocalyptic. It's humans. There is mutation stuff in here, and being Savage Worlds, I haven't read through it yet, so I'm not sure how they apply them. I don't know if the mutations count as like edges or what, but there's mutations that you can get for your character. There's a mix of like modern, you know, like all different types of weapons, including some futuristic stuff. So it'll be interesting. I'm going to go through it and see. It just showed up a couple hours ago, so I haven't even really looked at it.
That Star Wars book, was that was Lulu?
That was Lulu. So I printed one, and DM Samuel printed one. And we actually used different files to do it. He sent his in beforehand. I did some modifications to it, which I think made it come out better. But his printed missing, like the back 50 pages or something, are not even in it. The problem with Lulu is you got to suck it up. If you have them print a book like that for you and anything's wrong with it, do not message them, because you will find your account banned. You know, as soon as you draw attention to what, you know, that you're printing copywritten materials, that's how you lose your account there.
So to get that printed, you have to send a file to them?
Yeah, you send them the file, and they send it to a printer, and they print it. And they don't, I printed like 10 Dark Sun books, no problem. And, you know, the Star Wars book, no problem. But the minute you draw attention to it by like, hey, you know, this didn't show up, or this is screwed up, you get yourself in a jam there. So luckily mine came out great. Gaming. Now everybody here, you know, knows that my players are animals.
Let me, Mike, let me just hit some of these comments quick.
Yeah.
So Jubby says he thinks there's going to be a 2028 6E, and that they're going to try and make money with it. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have any.
I don't know that it'll be a WotC release. The way they're starting to license things out, they may.
Maybe somebody else do it.
They might license the IP out to someone. Who knows?
Edgelord is going to make the Dark Sun books like you had.
If you want Edgelord, if you want, I can get on Lulu and download the source files, the print ready files, if you want, and send them to you.
Bo, good luck with doing that. Sometimes you have really good luck bringing OSR games to a D&D night. I mean, sometimes people just aren't into it, you know, but, and then post-apocalyptic, Bo says Barrows and Borderlands, Mutant Future, Hyperborea. We're going to cover spoilers here. I was just talking to a guy today, but we're going to talk about some Gonzo games next week. And I got
the problem with those games listed, like Hyperborea, I have it here. Hyperborea is a great game. It, in my opinion, is not a post-apocalyptic game. I want a post-apocalyptic Earth. You know, Hyperborea is human-based, but it's all fantasy classes. I don't, you know,
right.
I'm not interested in any of that. I want
Yeah, Barrows and Borderlands would take a little bit.
Yeah.
It depends on what you want to do. I mean, I don't mind running some of the Gonzo stuff, but we're gonna have Brian Shutter on next week. He's coming on, and we're gonna talk about some Gonzo games, maybe some not so Gonzo games. But he's the Neon Lords of the Infinite Wasteland guy. But yeah, so no, that'll be cool. So I messaged on Licensed POD that they ruined. They said it was normal. I don't want to give them any more money to review on my channel. Yeah. So yeah,
I've gotten lucky with them so far, I guess.
Yeah. What? So I apologize, Mike. I wanted to
right.
take some of the chat because we got a bunch of it. Chubby, no, you don't. Here's a problem with Fatal. I know some guys about 15 or 20 years ago. I think they started character creation, and I don't think they're done yet. So that's the problem with Fatal. Yeah. So, but if you find a hard copy of it, I want one. Mike, you did some gaming this weekend.
I did.
You've been waiting to talk about.
I am. So we ran our first session of Delta Green. I will tell you right now, my players told me that was some of the most fun they've had gaming in years. They really embraced it. I had 3 players, and they really got into it. There is a video out there that's like, I don't know, 3 minutes long or something that somebody made. They call it a Delta Green onboarding video, and the video is pretty cool. I played it for them. I downloaded it off YouTube and I threw it up on my TV on a thumb drive, and I hooked up a sound bar and a subwoofer to it because it had quite a bit of like rumbling bass during the video. Turned the lights off and played that. As soon as they sat down at the table, before we even made characters, I played that, and they were already in the mood, and they really embraced it. And it's a game. Delta Green and Call of Cthulhu, I think, probably will play a pretty big part in our conversation today, because if you want to talk about games, they aren't combat focused. There is combat. There's definitely combat, but you got to be careful, because in both of those games, combat can be deadly. I mean, firearms, some of them have a lethality rating where literally one shot can just kill you or the enemy. And that's where I think a D&D style game always fails to try and handle like things like firearms or even just, even just weapons in general. It's more of a war of attrition with those types of games. You've got a big pile of hit points and you just wear them down. The idea of somebody coming up to you with a knife and stabbing you in the chest, in D&D you brush it off because you just took 4 points of damage and, your 30 hit points are laughing at them. Where a game like this, you're dead. You know? Something happens, you're good chance you're going to die. They had a great time. They ended up getting pretty murder hobo in the end, which, that's part of the game. The whole idea is, it's for those that haven't played it. It's kind of, think of X-Files. If X-Files, instead of trying to figure out the secrets, is more like trying to hide the secrets. That's what it's all about. You're trying to keep it from the public at any cost sometimes. And they had an incident with a pair of hunters, and the hunters saw a bunch of shit that they shouldn't. And one of them ended up getting killed before the agents got to them and found them. And they had killed, the big bad guy got away and ran into these hunters and attacked a hunter, and they shot it and killed it. And when they came upon him, here's this hunter like in full on breakdown mode, freaking out because of what he just saw. And one of the guys, he's an FBI agent, decides to pull out his pistol and shoot the guy in the head. And now they've got 3 bodies they got to get rid of. And that was the end of the adventure. That was they did the whole wrap up, and we did a little bit of the after stuff, and they got to watch the news, a couple weeks later, of a pair of hunters that had broken into an old cabin and they were cooking meth and the cabin blew up, and and they got to see how Delta Green had handled their screw up. But
Nice.
they're all looking forward to it. It was like a constant text chain Monday morning. These guys couldn't shut up about it.
That's
how much
awesome.
fun they had. So
that's like a show of a good game. I mean, not just a good game, but I mean, you got to have a good GM and a good story and good players and all that. But like when the players are talking about it nonstop and they're not, they don't forget about the game until they walk in next week. Like, I mean, that's a sign of a good game.
And that seems to be the way it's been when we're playing D&D style games, whether it's Shadow Dark or Castles and Crusades or D&D. It just kind of got to the point where they were like, they couldn't even update their character. Like, hey, we were going back to town. I'm like, if you're going to buy new gear, take care of it during the week. They'd show up at the table and be like, oh, I didn't even open my bag. The whole week goes by. They don't even think about D&D till game time. This has been different. They're very excited about it.
Are you modern day? Are you running it in modern day?
I ran. This first one was set in 2009, November 2009. This next one I'm running after their little mishap. They had a few months off. It's going to be January 2010 when it starts. I'm going to come up with some reason why they're getting the call now because, it's one of those things where the way I see it, if they're going to do that kind of stuff and they're going to cover it up and they're good about it, then Delta Green doesn't care. But if they're not good about it and they've got to go clean up after their own agents, I warned them. I said, if you keep on that path, you're going to find yourself a target of Delta Green, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It was fun. They had a great time.
Yeah, because they can't draw attention to themselves either.
Right.
They have to be low key. So
right.
Leaving a trail of bodies isn't always the best. Although it does default to that a lot. Like in my Delta Green games I've been in, it has.
And the only time it even slowed down at all, because the entire game was role play. They did a whole bunch of different checks and stuff, but a lot of times if you've got a high skill, you don't even need a check. So there were a few things they did checks on. But the only combat was we had a scientist, we had a historian, a scientist, and an FBI agent. So the FBI agent was the only one with any skill with weapons, and he had a service pistol because they had to fly there, so they couldn't have brought weapons anyways. He's the only one able to bring a weapon. And he literally fired one shot as this thing was running away, and that was it. So because we went through 5 hours of it and it was all role play and checks and stuff, when we got to the first combat part, I actually had to look up how to do it. I knew how to make their roll, but I wasn't sure if there was a contested roll for the other or not. So, we paused for a minute just to look that up. So this week we were using the quick start rules. This week I'm going to dive deep into the handbook and make sure I have all the rules down best I can.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, Call of Cthulhu is coming for us after. We're probably going to run 2 or 3 more missions of this, or if they die, which could very well happen in any one of them. If they die, then we'll at that point decide if they're going to make new ones or if we're going to run some Call of Cthulhu for a few missions. But it's sitting on the shelf, and that's coming up next.
You think you'll jump back and forth?
Yeah, I think so. At least to give them both a good try and decide which ones they like better. But
so I forgot what what you were calling your the chat was going crazy with it last time because you kept for the past couple weeks you've been calling your group the same.
No, somebody I think it was Edgelord calling them animals.
Oh, that's right. Animals.
Said my group is animals.
Animals. Yeah. No, so it sounds like that's come full circle. You found something that everybody.
I still had one player that always likes to argue rules with me start to argue, and I literally stopped and I just shut my mouth and I sat here with my hands folded while he was flipping through books and everything, and the other guys were looking at me, and finally they're like, hey, Eric, enough. Because it came down to he didn't like that they were trying to do something in a parking lot best way to describe it. Think about Karate Kid, the first Karate Kid movie. Remember the apartment building they lived in?
Yeah.
Well, they went to a building like that. They were on the second floor. So you got balconies all around it.
Yeah.
And it was like U-shaped, and there was a parking lot in there. And So there was a car, and they decide in the middle of the night they want to go into this car and leave the keys in there because they had taken them, and they were worried that they was going to get noticed that they were missing. So they wanted to leave them, and they're worried about the light coming on and drawing attention. And there was some nosy old neighbor that's always watching everybody. So I said, I want you to make your stealth roll, and they're panicking, and so then I rolled my dice in front of them, and I rolled 20%. And I was like, and he's like, oh, well, she doesn't have a 20% in her alertness. I said, she's the nosy old lady that watches everybody. That's all she does all day. She's good at it. And oh man, he didn't like that. He's flipping through the books, trying to find, what percent should a civilian have? I'm like, Eric, who cares?
Oh my God.
It's just,
to be honest with you, he shouldn't even be looking that up.
Well, and the funny part was,
yeah, right.
The funniest part about it was she was sound asleep. I was just rolling in front of them to give them that like tension, and they were like paranoid that she was going to catch them. There was nothing there. It was just a bullshit roll. But he was like, yeah, he didn't have the book. He's on his phone trying to Google it and look it up. I'm like, dude, come on. So
you should keep a brick by your gaming area and then hit him with it like when he tries that shit.
He sits right across from me, like 4 feet away. Bam.
So, Mike, on that, I'm going to add to what Stan said. When you do that, buy a prop brick.
Yeah.
And keep it sitting like right behind you or over your shoulder or something like that, so they all see it, and then throw that at them for real.
Well,
I got one of these, because I tend to get frustrated with my dice, so they go for a ride sometimes in my home games. So my buddy Matt bought me one of these foam ones, so I don't break anything.
Yeah. There you go.
I need to drive around the neighborhood, see if anybody's got an old willow tree or something, and I'll just break off a branch and make like a switch.
There you go.
Like 3 foot long switch and just smack him in the head right across the table.
Yeah, man, that guy would hate my table. He would hate my
make
table.
the nosy old lady like some actual Elder Cthulhu, demon. You know what I mean? She's like a squid from the waist down or whatever, and just sits at the window and just absorbs information.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Other than that, it went great. I mean, it was like a 5-minute hiccup, but I was really, I got to the point where I'm like, really, are we going to do this? We do this with every game. Can we please stop? Well,
yeah.
He's one of those guys that just wants defined rules for everything. And I'm like, you don't have to know everything.
But it doesn't, in that instance, like the rules don't even matter. Like you could put her there. You would give her a fucking 80%, busybody
doesn't
skill,
matter, yeah.
Like he shouldn't be looking up anything.
Well, what I did was I pulled up one of the blank character sheets they had for the adventure, where they had all they had was the base scores filled out, and it auto-populated their skills like with the base ones, and every one of them had a 20% base skill. And, when you look at the book, there's a bunch of skills that are automatically populated no matter what character you make. I'll start with a 20% base on alertness. So I'm like, okay, she got a 20% base. He goes, oh, those are for player characters. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, oh my God, right.
Move on.
I think I would drop a Shoggoth right on his freaking character and be done with it. Like,
oh, man.
Look these up and see how well you're going to fare.
Yeah. I had a handout. Something extra I added to it. There was like drawings, like a spell, like where did I put it? It'd be easier if I show you. I had my handouts here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because I printed black and white, so it's kind of dark. But you see that? That was on his floor underneath the carpet, and that was the spell he had done to try and resurrect his wife. And then there were a bunch of pages in there. A bunch of pages in there out of the spell book that had a bunch of the different symbols and stuff. And he's like, well, I'm a historian and I've got skill in this, so can't I read that? Don't I know what it is? And I'm like, no, you don't know what it is. And he's like,
yeah, but it's a magic spell.
Right, but he's like, well, yeah, but I've got like 60% in occult. I go, great, but you don't know what that is. You know?
Yeah, but well, I know in Call of Cthulhu though, there's a difference between having an occult skill and like a mythos skill. They're two different things. Like, and you would need mythos skill to do that, not occult.
Yeah, and I don't always think it's even, you know, sometimes there's no roll needed. You don't know it, you know?
Right. No, absolutely. Right? Absolutely.
Yeah. No, there definitely should be things that just definitely happen or whatever. You shouldn't need a roll for anything. Like the nosy old lady that's always staring out her window. Like she sees everything. Like that's her superpower, you know?
Right.
That she's got 100%. Like, you know what I mean? That's if they don't make their, you know, sneak roll or hide roll or whatever, like she sees it, you know, it just, it's automatic, you know? And, and if it happens that she's a supernatural being, then, you know, I mean, so be it.
Well, I screwed up at one part because my guys were rolling really well on sanity checks, except for one player. He failed and he rolled, and it was a D8, and he ended up rolling 7 and took 7 points of sanity loss in one shot.
Ouch.
And he should have had temporary insanity from it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I forgot it and I didn't realize, so I didn't do it. In hindsight, I screwed that up. And Stan would know better because he's played it. But isn't there a way immediately to try and reduce that?
Yeah, you can burn your bonds and stuff.
But you do that immediately, and then when you do the home stuff later, you play out how you burn the bond. Yeah, I screwed that up, but
that's how we've done it.
I'm going to retroactively let him do that because when we start, we'll do
it's a big deal. It's a big deal to lose that much sanity. So.
Right, so I'm going to give him the opportunity because I think he can only lose like 4 points or something, right? I think
if you lose 5 at least 5 at once, you're
right. But I think you can only. I think you can only reduce that by 4. I think it's a 1d4 you roll to reduce or something.
Oh yeah, maybe.
So I'll look it up and figure it out. No, I'll just.
I think that's how it works.
Yeah, I'll let him do it just to wipe that off before we start next week.
But if one of my players has a key, they will every single door that they see, they will ask, "Does it have a keyhole? Does this key work? Does this key work?"
Yeah,
and they will do that for forever. Like that key was for a lock 3 dungeons ago. Like it doesn't matter.
Well,
I've got a player that'll be like, "Whoop, silver key. I'm gonna try it." I'm like, "That was a different module." He's like, "Yeah, but I'm trying it. It's one of these times it's gonna work."
When they went to this guy's apartment,
snap it off and the lock, and
when they went to this guy's apartment, this was a photograph that was on the refrigerator from his 4-year-old granddaughter Cassie, and one of the guys was obsessed with this photo the whole night because he's like he's looking around the apartment. He's like, well, there's a door here and a window, but there's another door back here. Does this look like anything in there? I go, dude, this looks like a 4-year-old's freaking script drawing. And he's like, yeah, but does it look? And then they went to the cabin and he's walking around with the photo. And I'm like, I wanted to tell him.
I have players that would do that.
I wanted to tell him to move on, but I was like, no, if you want to waste your time,
go down that rabbit hole.
Over that photograph, go for it.
Well, it's funny sometimes what players will fixate on. A lot of times it isn't what you expect.
But man, we all had a great time. I thoroughly enjoyed running it. They liked playing it, so it's definitely a welcome change.
Oh no! Joined the campaign as a thief, died triggering a trap on a door that they had the key to, but forgot to share that info. Oh boy!
Oh boy!
Well, poor Dan. Poor Dan. Edgelord said that he thinks Curse of Strahd will work with Shadow Dark. I ran Curse of Strahd with Hyperborea. It was fine.
I just wouldn't run Curse of Strahd. I'd run I6.
Well, right. Now I ran Curse of Strahd because I wanted it to be a larger campaign, and I chose to do it in Hyperborea. I didn't want to use 5e. But I am planning on running Ravenloft, I6 Ravenloft, very pared down. I don't even want to call it I6. It's going to be a very pared down version of Ravenloft that's just going to be a one-shot go in and kill Strahd, except I'm going to use Blacklight, not Shadow Dark. So I'm gonna have a bunch of like spec ops guys go in to like Ravenloft and deal with undead and stuff with, you know, machine guns. And I mean, Blacklight's got like, it's got the supernatural element, so it has like, you know, UV coated bullets and things like that that'll work against vampires and like undead stuff. And I think it's gonna be interesting. So yeah.
Last things last. That's what I was running.
Last things last. Is that the?
Yep, that's the
what
name
else
of the
did?
adventure.
When I ran last things last at a con, I had an obnoxious player too, argued about his loadout the entire session. Annoying, but it's a great module. See, that's why things like Blades in the Dark is great, Matt, because you don't have loadout arguments.
See, yeah, the funny part about that game is like when they made characters, they're like, so how do we do equipment? I go, what do you want? And he goes, I don't know. I go, write it down. And what do you mean? I go, and the one guy was an FBI agent, and he's like, I looked at the other two. I go, did either of you take firearm skills? Nope. Neither of them had fire. I go, so you don't have weapons. I go, so write it down. I go, but this isn't D&D. You don't need 50 feet of rope and a 10-foot pole and all this. Just, you know, you're a historian. What are you carrying with you? And he's like, one of the guys was like, so I got to write down like flashlight. I go, no. I go, you don't have to write down flashlight in my game. If you get into a spot where you need your flashlight, just tell me you pull out your flashlight and use it. It's, you know, you're not finding treasure and getting, you know, you're getting paid probably a measly sum through Delta Green. You know, anything big that you want, you're going to requisition it through them. You know, there's just, you know, it's not that serious. You know, the equipment, it's not a game where you're just focused on managing equipment. No. The one guy, the other thing that he argued with me about, the same guy, this was the big one, was when he was firing. He goes, well, what if he goes, that one attack roll and that 1d8 damage is for firing a single bullet. What if he fires 5 times? I go, I don't care if he fires 1 time or unloads his clip. It's 1 attack roll and 1.
Uh-oh. I hiccuped. Oh boy.
And that's by the book. That's by the book. You know, it doesn't matter how many rounds you fire. It's 1 attack roll and 1 damage roll. He did not like that at all. And I'm like, listen, man, if you're that worried about it, if you're worried about saving on that ammo, pull the trigger 1 time, fire 1 round. That's all. I don't care. You know, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's not like that. That game is definitely not a combat simulation game. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Just,
I mean,
sure. Yeah, more
that's a thing. So that's a thing. Like, I remember when my first introduction to like Call of Cthulhu was a couple one-shots, and I had a terrific game master for it. But I was like, I came from basically a D&D style game background,
which is where my guys are from.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. I mean, and they all ended horrifically, like Call of Cthulhu does. But I was like, okay, how do you play a campaign in this? Because I know people do. And so they, you know, he explained it to me. He was like, well, with these games, with like the one shots, like you're basically getting to the end, like right off the bat. Whereas in a campaign, there's a ton of investigation that leads up to it. And I'm like, oh. And I just, you know, you get people, and I've always said this, is like if they play one game over, you know, one style of game over and over, like say D&D style game over and over, and then they go to transition. Some people find that hard because that locks you into a certain style of play, and that's what you develop for your gaming skills.
I mean, this should show you it's not like this isn't a one shot. You play this. This is a year plus campaign.
It's a lot, yeah.
No, it was like Mass was like that.
Now you may die once or twice during it.
Yeah.
Or you might survive the whole thing. But yeah, it's still a campaign. Just because you die doesn't mean the campaign ends. You know?
Yeah, no. But it's interesting because you get people, and I tell people this. I'm like, you're doing a disservice to yourself if you just only play one style of game. Like, it'll give you a much better perspective on how games work, how games play, make you a better player or even game master running different things.
Absolutely.
I sent Roger a link last night. I have one of, if you go all the way back to my origins of D&D, growing up, I had two friends that lived right around the corner from me. One lived straight down the street, one lived around the corner. It was pretty much our group. And then one of the guys that's in my group right now was with us. So I had 3 players. It was the 2 that I lived by, and then the guy that's in my group now. The 2 that I live by, I haven't played with since early 90s. I haven't even really seen them. Once in a while in passing, but so one of the guys runs a podcast. He's one of 3 on a podcast called The Cryptonauts. And the whole podcast is about supernatural and aliens and Bigfoot and conspiracies. And so I sent him that onboarding video last night, and I go, Chris, I got one spot at my table. This game looks like it's right up your alley. And he's messaging me back. And usually we haven't talked in forever. And usually when I message him, he's kind of like, little quick responses and not much conversation. He comes back, man, that game looks awesome. He was asking me all about it.
It is a great game.
I said, listen, man, you don't have to commit. There's a seat here. If you want to come and just sit down for one session and try it out and see if it's something you like, you're welcome. So we'll see.
Yeah, Matt, going back to that the story he was telling earlier, basically a player wanted a quantum equipment pack and with a bunch of obscure stuff, and he's played the module before. So that kind of sucks. Like if I've played a module before and I end up in a game, with somebody that's got that's running that module, I mean, and I can't avoid it, then I always play like a fighter or just or just a grunt or whatever, and I'm just along for the ride, and make it a point to not make any decisions. Edgelord, I don't know. I've never played Delta Green.
They're totally different games.
And yeah,
very different.
Blacklight is more like you're going out to invade.
It's like a combat game,
another dimension thing, and all that. Yeah. Whereas Delta Green is closer to like an X-Files kind of thing, where you're like the FBI people or whatever, trying to cover everything up. Like that's the thing. There's a lot less combat involved.
Yeah.
In that.
and I like it. I mean, if you had asked me 5 years ago if I wanted to play a game like that, I would have said no way.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so much fun. I know I'm in the minority here. I keep saying it, but man, I've gotten so bored with just typical D&D fantasy stuff.
I hear you. I'm with you. I mean, I like some of the. I mean, I don't know. I don't like the typical fantasy stuff or whatever. I mean, I like to play like a bigger, broader game. But
yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm into. But I mean, I love post-apocalyptic stuff. I mean, I would run post-apocalyptic if more people would play it.
Yeah.
When I wanted to play. So.
Yeah, Edgelord, I want to do some modern Call of Cthulhu stuff myself. I'm going to start them with 1920s and 30s stuff.
Yeah, that's where I would go with Call of Cthulhu, I think. I don't know if I'd want to run modern stuff.
And then before I get to anything modern, I think after I do the regular Call of Cthulhu, I think I'd like to do some Pulp Cthulhu, because Pulp Cthulhu, same rules. It's just basically a modification. That is definitely more action oriented, because Pulp Cthulhu, you get higher you get more skill points for everything. You get more hit points. It kind of accommodates combat.
Yeah, 80s modern maybe. I kind of don't like the modern games because of like things like cell phones and like you don't need to try and remember anything anymore. You're just like, I just look it up. You know what I mean? Anything that you want to try and
I made it very clear with my players with Delta Green that when they first met with their handler, he made it clear that, personal cell phones and personal identification, they shouldn't have it with them. They were given a burner phone to use. They had the capabilities to text, but 2009, we're talking the infancy of smartphones as it was.
Sure.
They didn't have access to that. And my one player loves to take amazing notes. He's got a notebook. He writes down everything you say. And I said, well,
that's cool.
I go, listen, we are going to treat it so everything you say at the table is in character. I go, and everything you write in that book is in character. And Delta Green's all about keeping that stuff secret. So just keep in mind, you writing all that stuff in those books could get you jammed up. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to put the book aside. And, If they needed an address or something, he'd mark it down, but he was trying not to keep as many notes because he didn't want to get jammed up. And that's the nice thing about playing with an organization like that. You could tell them, you know, you can't use this technology. You can't do this because it's not secure. You can't, you know. So it kind of alleviates part of that. And also setting it in like prior to 2009, you really don't have to worry about smartphones. And, you know, if you go to 80s, you don't even have to worry about the internet. You know?
Yeah, right.
It really limits them on what they can do.
Before we get, you know, we've kind of been veering in and out of, I mean, everything here, you know, but I did get a couple things this week.
Oh,
I don't know. What'd you get?
That I wanted to get to. So I got that.
Mine hasn't shown up.
That's Dark Space.
Did you didn't back the zines, did you?
No, I did not.
So I backed the zines and I bought my book with it, so I'm not going to see it until that second zine ships.
Yeah. So I just got the book, and I got a couple of the older things for it. I forget what it was, but those showed up like a couple weeks ago.
I forgot before I'll do it real quick.
No, go ahead.
These arrived. These are
fantastic.
These are Shadowfinder, but Shadowfinder is Shadow Dark.
Yep.
With like Pathfinder rules mixed in with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 3 zines showed up this week too. I haven't even looked at them. They showed up yesterday. So, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I forgot about it until you mentioned it.
No, you're good. Chubby says, I wonder if anyone released a Shadow Dark based modern vampire setting that actually starts play in the 1980s. Is that this? Is this what you're talking about, Chubby? Shadow City, Blood and Neon? Is this a vampire setting? Is that what that is? No, so this is sort of like I guess it's VTM, right? I don't know. I don't have great experiences with VTM, but Vampire the Masquerade, but yeah. So if you want modern vampire stuff, there it is, right there. So I got that, and then I got this showed up. This showed up yesterday, which is really cool because I wasn't expecting it.
What's that?
This is Father Fog, which is a fairy tale horror role-playing game that is made by Tuesday Night Games, and those are the Mothership people. So this is basically a fantasy version of Mothership.
Nice.
It's the same system, and it's it's pretty much got like a similar kind of character sheet going on with like a little flow chart for stuff, and just basic skill checks and stuff. Runs just like Mothership, or very similar to it, except obviously it's fantasy horror instead of space horror. But and it's pretty small, kind of like Mothership was originally, and so that was kind of cool. And that's what I got. But yeah. Death Angel. I haven't seen a whole slew of things like Vampire had, werewolves and ghosts and demons and all that stuff. And Changeling was one, right? Changeling and Mage. There was a ton.
I don't really know anything about those systems other than back in the 90s, all the people around me locally that were playing it were weird freaking people.
That was my problem, and I may have mentioned this last week or whatever when we were talking about it, but like the VTM, like I got invited to play, and like people were like, "Oh yeah, no, we play over at the college and in Strebel Hall and all this. They're like, you should come, and it's great." And I was like, all right, because I was playing D&D and stuff and superhero games and all that stuff, and I go, and it's basically everybody's wearing a trench coat, and they're just talking to each other, and it's just a big LARP fest, and there's no actual rules. I mean, it's kind of cool because they're like doing the faction play stuff, but that's all they would do is just dress up and show up and just
so they all thought they
cosplay and LARP the whole thing.
They were dressed up like they were extras for Underworld.
Yeah, like way in the back extras.
Yeah,
the extras that you put
not frontline extras.
People you just throw blankets over and put them behind everybody else. That it's going to be blurred out that you can't see. No, I mean, and that was it. And look, that's fine. Like if that's the game that you want to play, like great. But I was like, what is there? Like this is VTM, and I'm like, that's not really. They're like, no, this is how it is. And, okay. So I'm like, nope. Sorry guys, I'm out. I don't want to play dress up. Like I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So, so that was like my thing, and I never really got into it. And then I saw Chubby's Shadow City, and let me add Paul in there. I was reaching for the book, and I saw him, and then I left him in the waiting room. Sorry about that, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah, and then went on about some crazy LARP that you walked into.
I got on about some crazy LARP and just got going. And you know me, I get fixated on this crazy shit.
It's too bad, Roger. I was hoping you were going to have some gaming to talk about this week.
No, so my game got my game got canceled because I was going to WizardCon, and then by the time that got uncanceled, everybody had kind of already made some other plans and things like that. And so, and then I was feeling under the weather.
You were supposed to be the fourth at my table, but you made excuses.
I was going to come out. Yeah, I didn't feel good. It was bad.
Yeah,
it was really bad. I didn't want to get everybody sick. So
I appreciate.
Paul, welcome to the show. Thanks for
howdy
for coming on.
Yeah.
I know you're a big fan of Combat First,
right? Well, that's the thing. I'm a big fan. 4th edition D&D was my favorite and all that because it focused on the combat, but it wasn't a role-playing game. Those games, that's the problem is
right.
The ones that have really interesting combat and different mechanics for it aren't role-playing games. And is combat at the core of all RPGs? I don't think so. There was a long time ago when I was backing Kickstarters, not nearly as prolifically as you did, but there was one that was coming out, and it was one of these pie in the sky projects where the guy's like, I want you guys, it's about like Buddhist religion, and you want everybody to become enlightened and rise up to nirvana and all this, and there's no combat. First thing I do is I hop to the comments, and people are sitting there brainstorming, how do we put combat in it? That was all they were thinking of.
Wow.
And I was like, ooh, maybe, not everything, you don't have to buy every book, contrary to belief. Maybe this game isn't for you if you need combat, maybe the Buddhist game of trying to reach nirvana isn't for you if it has no combat in it. But they were just thinking like, oh no, like there's Buddhists that fight. So like, what can we do? It was like, it was soul destroying to see, because this guy was like, just total chill, mellow guy wanting to develop his game. And then a bunch of, number monkeys ran in and were like, how can we do this? I need a system, not so much I could play it, but I want to build characters that are the most powerful that'll beat everybody else's characters. And you have those weirdos that are like part of the hobby. So to me, those are my LARPers. Those are the ones that I'm like, ooh, could you maybe go over there? I can feel you. Like I'm getting a rash, from you. Can you just go over there? I don't need you near me.
That's weird. I've seen that with more of the modern systems where people just want to, they don't want to play. They just want to make characters.
Yeah, it's like theory crafting. Like that's what
I
they
see that
do.
with like 5e and now 2024. But people are, oh, you want to check out this fighter build I made? Look, he can do. And I'm like, well, I don't care. Like, but he can make a cheese sandwich while he's fighting. And like, I'm like, what? I don't. I'm just making dumb shit up. But that's what they say. It's just weird. Yeah. If Kung Fu Combat Kickstarter, where what? Send me a link.
There you go.
No.
I think part of it comes down to also like, if you took D&D and you take the combat out of it, it's not a very good game. It's not. I mean, we've had sessions before that were real heavy role play, and they were fine, but you didn't want to do that every week. And I had players at the table that were bored out of their mind with it. But then
I think it's also dependent on your players, right? So I do that all the time.
Yeah.
But then you put those same players in Delta Green, and it's all about investigation, doing some skill stuff, and they loved it. Well,
I think it's also expectation, right? So like we were talking about earlier, like if you're geared towards D&D,
Right.
Like we just got done playing Ravenloft Second Edition, and I love the setting, but the rules for it with the fear and horror, like going into it, my mindset because we're playing Second Edition, I'm playing D&D, right? But it felt more like I was playing Call of Cthulhu, which I love, but like it for me, I'm not saying it I didn't like it, but it was jarring to like have those rules and those effects in my D&D.
Right.
If we'd have gone in like, oh, this is a Call of Cthulhu game and I lose all the sanity, yeah, no kidding, that happens.
Yeah.
But it was just different.
And Death Angel makes a good point here. I mean, if you look at early D&D, it was really about getting the treasure to gain experience. So you didn't have to fight things. Sure. You could find other ways to get it, and you could progress with it. But like pretty much starting with first edition and onward, it all became about combat. You know, you get experience for killing monsters. Yes, you get experience for the treasure also.
Sure.
As the editions went on, the experience for treasure went away, and then it truly became all about experience for monsters.
Well, I think that's why Kelsey with Shadowdark went the other direction and said, okay, you only get experience for treasure.
Yes.
And not killing monsters. In this way, that makes it because I remember having players that would, they want the best of both worlds. Like, yes, well, we can sneak around the dragon and just steal his treasure, but then we don't get the XP for killing him. So in order to maximize this whole dungeon, we need to go and kick down every single door, disarm every single trap, cast every single spell, scour every inch, and get every single bit of treasure, out of it. Whereas with Shadowdark, now it's like, hey, you don't have to, go to combat, right? All you have to do is get the treasure. That's
true. But let me ask you a question. So you level those characters up. You guys are having a great time. And you find that dragon. Is everybody going to be satisfied sneaking in, stealing some of that dragon's treasure and getting away with it? Because we're playing, these Dungeons and Dragons style games, and they want to be the heroes that slay the dragon. That's why I say it's like you can't take combat out of those games and really have the same game anymore. They're really centered around it.
Sure.
No, D&D. It's like there's a guy on X whose username is D&D is a war game, and it's like that's it. It's all it is. It was based off of their Napoleonics and all that, and it's just a poorly built combat game. There are no goals for the characters. The only goal that people see numerically and can feel is get experience, become more powerful. So that's all it becomes.
Well, I'm sure I'll get lots of hate for this statement, especially somebody that's played almost exclusively D&D until recently. D&D is not great at anything. It's not great at combat. It's not great at role playing. It's not great at skills. It's not. It's just it's got a long history. It was out there. It became the most popular, and it's stayed that way. It's got brand recognition, and people play it. It's not a bad game. It's fun. We sit down and play and have fun with it. But there are a million other games out there that, any one part of that game you could pick out and pick out 10 other games that do it better.
Sure. Yeah. If there's specific things that you're looking for, and it is very combat heavy. I mean, it is designed that way, but I mean, I mentioned earlier, Paul mentioned it. It does come from wargaming. I mean, that's where it comes from. So that's obviously that's at its roots, and it's at its core. It's hard to remove it.
Yesterday, when I posted on X about the stream tonight, I had somebody reply to me, and they gave me an idea for a RPG that doesn't involve combat. Would you like to see it?
And you said before that it wasn't My Little Pony.
Nope.
But I think that involves some kind of combat, but I'm not sure.
Is everybody here on stream at least 50?
No.
No?
No, 44. No.
44?
I'm not. I'm 46.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're an old man.
I got a couple of years into the 50 I can donate.
There you go.
Well, anyways, here, I just shared it with you.
Well, share the screen. Here we go. Am I going to regret this?
Oh, the Dallas RPG.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, just think.
Wow.
Just think. No matter what you do in the game, you can always do a do-over and just say it was all a dream.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Dallas. I kind of remember that. Dallas, the role-playing game. I mean, I don't remember it. I remember hearing about it, and but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So that's like soap opera. The game. There's a game that I have that's it's card based. Use like a regular deck of cards, and it's like you're in like a television show type of thing. So you can play things similar to like Dallas or whatever, but you can play any kind of like genre TV show or whatever in it. And it's meant to be a TV show because it has like it has mechanics that make it such so that you can like end a scene and things like that, or go to a different scene or do a flashback and things like that. So
That's crazy.
I was just thinking, if you're going to play, if you're ever going to play the Dallas RPG, you got to play Dukes of Hazzard before it and Falcon Crest after it.
Yeah, the Dallas RPG. We're going to try that now.
That was our Friday night in the 80s.
Yeah,
for just about everybody because we didn't have many channels.
Yep.
I wonder what system they use for that.
I thought you were talking about Hearts Blazing for a second.
Hearts Blazing.
This is more. That's more sci-fi. But yeah, it has that where you're playing like in a genre, pretty much.
Yeah.
Where everybody's playing an archetype for like to build a cast for a show, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget the game that I was thinking of. It's like a tan-colored book, tannish yellow colored book, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
It's got like a TV on the cover.
Did you kickstart that? I think I saw that. That was way back when.
It was a long time ago. I don't remember if
that was like
Kickstarter or
that was like 15 years ago that it was on there. I think.
Oof. It could be.
Boss Hog
was from Buffalo.
I just looked at the cover. For that. It says 3 ready-to-play original episode scripts.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Boss Hog was a CIA operative.
We're learning all kinds of new stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting thing because we're talking about Call of Cthulhu. I always bring up how tickled I am that one of the writers for Babylon 5, Larry DiTilio, wrote Masks of Nyarlathotep, like when there was a writer's strike. And he's just like, he did it as an aside just to make some money. He's like, here you go. What's this, some kind of nerd shit? Here you go. He made like the best module for anything ever.
Nice.
It's epic.
So I could imagine that's actually probably some decent stories for if you want to play the Dallas RPG.
I would bet that there's an RPG where you pretend to be a professional miniature painter, and there's a ton of like every time I go to like Millennium Games or you go to like the it's like the Indie Bazaar, I think they call it, at some of the larger conventions. There's always like people, they have the like solo zine, games or whatever. And I mean, there's one that's like you play like as a donut and you're trying to like have like the most worthy person eat you or something. Or I mean, there's like a bunch of weird, or it's a cupcake. I think it's a cupcake. Sorry. Whoa.
So this is the problem with you backing everything that you see.
No, I didn't back it. This I said I saw in stores. This I didn't back. This I didn't back. I promise you.
And you didn't buy it when you saw it in the store?
I didn't buy it. No, I didn't buy it. Contrary to popular belief, I don't buy every RPG that comes out. All right. Now, if you guys look at something and say, "Oh, that looks kind of cool," then I mean, yeah, that means I'll probably buy it. But I mean, there's a lot of like weird stuff like that that's out there. And I mean, but other than that, like really mainstream, is it just like Call of Cthulhu that's like really like a non-combat kind of based?
I mean, you could put Vaesen in the same category because it's just similar but different.
Pretty much Call of Cthulhu clone, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't looked at Vaesen much, but I keep seeing going through research and all the stuff the last couple of weeks about both of these games. I keep seeing Delta Green, Call of Cthulhu, and Vaesen all grouped together.
Yeah.
So
they're very similar. Obviously the setting is different for
Vaesen's more of like a Victorian style, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 19th century and
it's more Northern European.
It's set in the original game. It's branched out. The original game's in like mythic Scandinavia, and then now they've branched out into like the Carpathians, and they actually have a setting for Prague. And
I saw they had a Slavic book. I think that was their latest one. That they came out with,
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's a great game.
I think Babylon 5 was definitely a Star Trek.
Yeah, I heard that's totally all those names that are the same in Deep Space Nine were totally not stolen from somebody's show Bible.
Chubby shots fired. Oh boy! Yeah. Oh boy! Here we go.
Ugly in the chat.
Got that angel going now. Here we go.
He's fired up.
There's going to be fists thrown now. The gloves are going to go off.
I'm confused about one thing though, because like Takata, you played a lot of Call of Cthulhu. I mean, how I know a lot of the big published stuff. It's world hopping. You're all over the place. So what is the draw to Cthulhu by Gaslight? Because when you read the blurb about it, it just talks about it being set in
just
the
Setting.
England.
It's the era,
Yeah, the era and the setting.
Because that's like what? That's like 1890s, I think, is Cthulhu by Gaslight. Yeah. So it gets rid of that. It gets rid of that prohibition gangster element, moves it out to Europe.
Yeah, and so the travel is just probably, I mean, instead of flying all over the country, you're going by train to all the different countries and stuff.
That's how. I mean, I played Mass, and I mean, you were all over. I mean, there was places we didn't go that were in the module. Like we never went to Australia or anything like that, but we traveled all over. I mean, that was part of it. But they have other ones that, like, we played the Two-Headed Serpent, and that was, as I recall, mostly in one area.
Did you play that Cthulhu?
Mass we did. I think we did Two-Headed Serpent and Pulp as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I'd like to run both of them eventually. I've seen
some people knock Pulp. It's still a deadly. It's not. You're not a superhero. It's a deadly game. Like, we went through characters. We lost Sandy.
It's just a little more geared towards more action and combat than regular.
I had very experienced game master keeper that ran it, and he liked Pulp just because for campaign play that was his preferred thing. I think the one shots we did were in regular Call of Cthulhu. I mean, those were freaking brutal. We all died horribly. But yeah, no, they're both great. They're both. I'll play either one, but I like Pulp. I mean, I probably have more experience with that than
I just looked it up. I currently see 0 Call of Cthulhu games at CNY.
What is up with that?
That's pretty crazy.
I don't know.
Step up.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't make people want to get a refund.
I told my group this week. I said, listen, I'm going to get you the dates for it. I said, we'll see if you're interested in coming. I said, if you find a game that you want to play that's not something that we play, not something we run, not something we play, but you want to try something different, I will see if, wife or somebody wants to run the booth, and I'll jump into a game with you. And we could try, because we talked about that. You go to a convention to play with your friends.
Right.
I don't mind playing with my group if we're all going to try something new, because then I don't have to introduce it to the table. I can be like, hey, let's go try this game. The whole group can sit down and play in the game, have somebody else run it, and see if we like it.
Yeah, no, and that's perfectly fine, right? But it's like my only comment on that, and we touched on this.
You're running Castles and Crusades. You're not going to go play in a CNC game with your friends,
right? Like I've been in a ton of George's CNC games, at various conventions, and when I went to GaryCon, he was like, "Oh, I'm running these games. Like, do you want to jump into my games?" And I'm like. And then even, Jason mentioned like, George is running these games or whatever. Not that he was like pushing for it, he was listing, the games. But I was like, listen, we go to Pennsylvania and we've played in a bunch of George's games. He comes up to CN, you know what I mean? And like, I'm not flying halfway across the country to play a Castles and Crusades game with George. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, George, but like, I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? I mean, I would fly out there and play a game with Paul, because I don't see Paul. I don't have, I mean, I don't know, so, but for the most part, I don't want to play. And okay, if it's with your group and you're playing with like a cool GM and playing a different game or whatever, like that's fine. I can see that. But like, I don't want to play. Like, I wouldn't expect any of my players to come, to go to Pennsylvania and play in a game that I'm running that I can just run at home.
Right.
Like, why would they come to a convention and play in one of my Shadow Dark games? They do, or whatever. Like, they do that every week.
Right.
Like,
right.
And half of them don't even want to do that. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, what? I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. Except, you know who you are. But you're the only one that heard an alarm. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't hear him.
Are there any meeting rooms left at the hotel by any chance? Nerd Cognito might be interested in doing a meetup here in CMI. It depends on when. I have one meeting room that we might be able to use that has that I have some time slots available for it. So let me know. We'll figure that out. But so I mean, is like, other than I know there's a million of those like tiny games out there that are all, not combat related or whatever, but like, what is it like about, combat? Like, are we just drawn as gamers to like want to have a way to resort to combat? Like could we play Dungeons and Dragons like without? D&D is probably a bad, thing because it's like a medieval simulator or whatever. But what if we just played the game and just played like, like the domain game and worried about like, not doing wars, but just like, trade and like all of that stuff. I mean, does the game work or?
No, I think
it doesn't.
It just completely falls apart, right?
Yeah. Well, let's stand because I want to hear what he's going to say. Yeah.
Well, I think if you just took it like as a general thing, no, it's not going to work. But like, if it would also really depend on what your players are interested in. Like if you had a group of players that's all they really cared about was like, like take Jason for example. Like he was really interested in building up his character and getting to have his own temple and all that stuff. And like, had the group maybe been more interested in doing that themselves, like the game could have maybe morphed into that. I don't think it's probably the best vehicle for it, but I think, you could, but I think in general, no. Yeah.
There you go. Sure.
That'd be probably what you want to do. But that's the thing. Like, like Stan's saying, you need a specific group for it. Cause me, it's like, sure, I play Civilization. I love those types of games, but it's, again, that's not a role-playing game.
Right.
That now we're playing, we're playing an entirely different, like
you're playing
medieval economic type of game. Yeah. Where it's like, I'm playing a merchant prince. It doesn't matter. That's what
Axe
wrote the rules for.
Medieval is medieval economic simulator. I mean,
that's like, that's what I called it originally, not to any Macris's face, but it's Conan the Comptroller is pretty much what it is. You're sitting there just looking at your taxes and getting counting your beans.
Yeah. No, and I mean that's a cool part of the game that I like. Now, I think that Axe is, it like for my group, it's too much. Like I can't push that on my group because they don't want to file their taxes, but like, but like if I do it with like Shadow Dark and what I tried to do with Castles and Crusades, it's like I kind of hand wave a lot of stuff. It's okay. It costs this much money. You make this much money type of thing. And just, hand wave like the numbers without having to fill out the forms and stuff. And I think it works, so, yes, I will check my email, Death Angel.
In 4 hours when the stream's over?
In 4 hours when the stream's over, yeah. But, it's interesting. I don't know, Zephyr, so we have non-combat sessions fairly often. I mean, I've done that too. I've had, sessions, D&D games, right? And when I say D&D, I mean, all of the D&D games, right? Dungeons and Dragons, Castles and Crusades, Shadow Dark, right? All the basic D20 stuff, right? But we've had non-combat
we play
sessions
together. Zephyr is one of my guys in my group.
Yeah. And we do non-combat, but
we did it Sunday. We did it,
but it not as an ongoing thing. Like I think if I tried to set it up as a non-combat session, consistently, like I think I'd have players that would get bored.
Right.
I mean, I've had people twitching, with the D20 in their hand, wanting to roll it.
Well, again, everybody comes to the table, right, for their own thing, and maybe that one person, like he just, maybe he's at a horrible work week and he just wants to come there and kick the crap out of some stuff and feel better, that's nothing wrong with that. Like that's perfectly viable reason to want to play. But like you may have a group of players. Like I'm lucky that I have a few guys that I can sit there and we can do. It's not a big deal for us to do non-combat because they get right into it. And like we did that Sunday. Like I only had 2 players and we had no combat. And part of it, I mean, I was literally watching the show because they were just going back and forth in character the whole time, like trying to figure things out and solving problems and that didn't require combat. And it was great. It was great. Those sessions are great. But you don't, again, it falls back to your players. Like if they're not into that, it's not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. And we kind of touched on that earlier with, like talking about Shadow Dark and the D&D stuff. Like who wants to sneak around the dragon and just take, take the pile of magic items or whatever. Like, no, we gotta kill him and kill the dragon and get the XP and
And you can, and if your group sneaks in and steals that dragon's treasure and gets away with it, that might be a story they talk about forever,
Right.
But is that story going to be as cool as the one that they tell if they go in and fight that dragon?
And 3 of them die, and they
1 or 2 of them survive, and they get that final shot.
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, that was one of the reasons why I was thinking about, like doing, this episode and like talking about it, because it's interesting. Like, you could put all of these non-combat ways in front of the players and, no offense, Mike, right. But like you say, where's the fun in that? We want to kill the thing or you know what I mean? Like that seems to be the consensus, and I don't know, I don't know if you can do a whole game, like even Call of Cthulhu, right? Like the reason you don't go to combat and Call of Cthulhu, like if you had,
it's deadly.
If weapons didn't have the deadly thing, and you had, like death saves and like triple the number of hit points, I think Call of Cthulhu would be a completely different game. Like people would just be like, going around with their gun, just shooting at everything.
I really do like that these games have a static hit point pool and a lethality rating for weapons, because it makes it more realistic. It's not, you're not standing there taking shot after shot from somebody with a handgun, or the guy pulls out an MP5 and 3-round bursts into your chest and you laugh it off. Okay, my turn.
That's why I like games on the fantasy end, like Dragonbane, where you don't have a boatload of hit points and weapons do a lot of damage, a lot of damage. And like Tales of Argosa is the same way. Like Baptism of Fire is the same way. Like you start off with a base number of hit points and you get a little bit. You're not rolling dice every level to get more. And then like with Dragonbane, unless you take heroic ability, you're not getting any more. Like whatever your con score is, your hit points. Good luck.
Yeah, I agree with Dan there. That's one of the things that I liked about Savage Worlds was the way the combat worked and the way hits happened.
Wounds and stuff.
And like when we played Blood Drive, which is one of the published adventures for Deadlands, they go on a cattle drive. Well, the very beginning of it, they get into a shootout. There's basically a guy that challenges them, and it doesn't have to happen. It's whether or not one of the players is going to step up, and they have basically that shootout at high noon. And I told him, I said, this guy is, much stronger than you are. And he got up there and he rolled. They did their attack and they had to, do the whole thing and try and distract each other. And they go through it. And then all of a sudden the round comes where they draw. And he rolls and he gets exploding dice. And he rolls again and they explode again. And they explode a third time. And he gets a 4th roll. And the guy is on the ground almost dead, bleeding out, while his guys go and drag him and pull him out of there. And the party is just cheering because they were like, that'd be like a first level character getting in a D&D thing. And, he gets in a duel with an 8th level guy and manages to get a lucky swing. And, they really like that, but it adds something to it when anything can happen,
Chubby says he watches television to get an accurate sense of how weapons and damage work in the real world. Yeah. Especially I love how they rack the slide in the pistol, like every time, like in the middle of shooting and, no bullet flies out.
I really like it when they do it with revolvers.
They just do that.
I like it when they thumb back the hammer on a Glock. It's like,
there you
go.
Like, wow. I'm like, well, none of my Glocks work that way.
How that? Oh, wow.
Right.
Dan, I think Paul was gonna come, and he was dead set on taking the train, and then Jason told a story about the Amtrak bathrooms, and then now Paul is trying to smuggle his way into your luggage.
It was. I had high hopes, and then Jason did that thing where he was staring right at the camera, and he was like, "And there was this ungodly smell coming from the restroom," and I was just like, "Whew!" And I got to deal with 19 hours of an ungodly smell. I don't know if I'm going to do that. So, no, next year probably. Yeah, we'll definitely see, because if there's a train that gets off nearby, for sure.
Yeah, there is, like 10 minutes away. It's awesome.
10 minutes, awesome.
So
cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And I mean, we can, no problem. We can pick you up. It's not a big deal. So we'll make Jason pick you up.
There you go. Yeah, and then I'll tell him, be like, about those toilets, you were right.
You guys can talk about the toilet. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a little bonding experience over that. Oh boy, Edgelord.
Bailed on us for a hockey game.
Yeah.
Lame.
Well, Edgelord, we used to be friends, but
shut down like that.
That's fine. Go. I mean, I guess the fights there are cooler than the fights you're going to see on here.
Right.
But there you go. There you go, Paul.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Rent a car.
And that's what I always try to tell people too. Like, they're always like, I don't know, it's so expensive. I'm like, people are so friendly at the smaller conventions too that you can easily split a car, ride a room, or whatever. Like, that's how I'm going to EGG Con. My Sunday GM, who I met at Gary Con's, like, oh yeah, I'm going. I was like, oh, who are you going with? He's like, I'm just by myself. I'm like, well, get a 2-bed and I'll jump in and we'll go check it out. So,
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've noticed too since I started going to cons. It's like my first Shire Con, I was sitting at a table and we were playing AD&D, and the dude next to me like starts busting out all these snacks, and then he's like sliding them across the table to me, and I was like, all right. Then I ran into him last year when I was there, and this year, guy I played a few games with before. We played both games at OSR Con together. Like, we're at the bar with Jeff Delaney, and he's buying us all drinks, and it's good. Yeah, it's just a really good vibe, like with all those people, and you start to see the same ones over and over. Yeah, so it's nice.
That's Paul. I don't know if you know this, but that's actually how this YouTube channel got started. It's Jason and I used to drive down together to like Pennsylvania or wherever. We go to all these conventions. So 4, 5, 6 hours in the car. And that's all we do is talk about gaming, the whole way down, and we game all weekend and then talk about the gaming all the way back home. And eventually, I had mentioned, maybe doing a YouTube thing, whatever. And then Jason was like, yeah, you should do a YouTube thing. Yeah, it'd be cool. We could just talk about all this stuff. And now the problem is like, we can't talk to each other ever, because every time we sit down and start to have a conversation, we're like, oh, we got to save this for the, save this for the stream. Gotta save it for the stream. Save it for the stream, man. Like, this is a great conversation. It's like, all right, let's not talk about it. So now we just roll our thumbs.
At least you're not telling stories about the two of you sharing rooms at the cons. Whatever happens there stays there.
Oh man, got some crazy stories about that too, but that's for a different channel. No,
Jason's not here to defend himself.
Punch him while he's down. It's like the ref's back is turned. We got him in a corner. Just start stomping him.
No, Jason could probably tell more stories than I can. My problem, I don't know if you guys or if everybody in the chat knows this, but I don't have a thyroid, and it's a whole cancer thing. It's fine. Everything's great. It's fine. It's probably everything's okay, but it's like we're 99% sure it's all gone.
Yeah, it was the probably that was like, don't worry. Well, you just deflated it, but it's okay.
No. It's everything's probably fine. So they cut my thyroid out, so I don't have one, and so I have I'm on a bunch of medication for that, obviously, because thyroid apparently is important. Does a lot of important things in your body, and so it like regulates like temperature and stuff, or I guess how you feel temperature. And so all my numbers are like perfect, but my sense of temperature is like screwed up. I'm always like warm, So it's like 10 degrees warmer to me than it is to like everybody else. So whenever I get a hotel room, I'm like, I always always set it for like 65. Like the room with the AC going.
Yeah.
Like Jason's always like just freezing.
So it's funny because you and I talked about this once before, and I'm hypothyroid, so I still have mine, but it barely works. So I'm on a bunch of meds too, and I'm always hot. Like I've got a fan on me right here that's like 3 feet away from me blowing. Where'd Roger?
I'm back.
There we go. So I have like a fan on me like 3 feet away from me blowing, and my feet are cold, but the rest of me's hot.
Yeah.
But when we went to Page in January, I had the air conditioner going in the room because I'm like, I can't deal with heat. You know, I'm already like, I got to get the air conditioner in my room. It's supposed to be cold all week, but I'm like, I got to put the air conditioner in. It's already getting too warm.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing you learn too when sharing like hotel rooms with people. You've got to just like, if you got pet peeves, you just got to push them down.
Yeah.
Because that was like my brother, he's big on like carnivore and stuff like that. He does jujitsu. He's 8 years older than me, but he's in amazing shape. He's like got laser focused on it. So in the morning he's just making eggs and bacon for everybody, and it's like almost smoking us out. So it's March up in Gary Con, and I'm like, I'm gonna open the door to the balcony here and just, I don't care how cold it is. So I just need that bacony smell. Sure, it's delicious, but by the time you get to the con, you're like, I smell like bacon all day. But what are you gonna do?
Well, I would rather game with someone smelling like bacon than what some of the guys smell like.
Right. Well, that was the thing. The next weekend we went to C2E2 was over here in Chicago, and that's like a comic convention. And if you think gamer nerds are bad, comic nerds, my God, I was like, it was like walking through tear gas. It was rough. Anyway,
later, Chubby.
See ya.
Thanks for listening.
There's a big 3-day convention in Syracuse here every year, Retro Game Con, and it's huge. I mean,
it is. Yeah,
they get like 8,000 people or something.
I was just going to say 7,000, but maybe it's more now.
It's big, and it's all comic book and video gamers, really.
Oh, there you
go. You can imagine what it probably smells like in there.
Yeah, it's it's definitely an interesting smell. Yeah, when we went to down in Philly, PAX Unplugged. We went with a buddy of mine. Two buddies. Joe went and Tyler. And Tyler he has zero meat on his bones. He is just skinny. And so I had the thermostat set for like 64. Like I just walked in and I just nailed it down. Yeah. And it was cold, and he's always wearing a hat, like a hoodie. He would come into the room and just like bundle himself up on the bed and have he had a Switch with him and just playing it. And then the best part, while I was in the shower, he tried to he was like, I'm gonna change the thermostat. The up arrow, the up button on the thermostat was broken, so it would only go down. It was absolutely hysterical. And oh man, it was hysterical. I don't know, but I found that just so funny. Yeah, it's good times. But so I like it cold. So if anybody's with me,
I was gonna say,
that's the benefit that we have. We get to say, "Oh, that's why I'm fat."
Yeah,
that's my thyroid.
That's right too. Yeah, I've got the fans running and all that too. It's like sometimes you're just fat.
It's not the extra food I ate; it's my thyroid.
Yeah, that's my thyroid. Yeah. No, I mean I'm trying to lose weight too. I'm trying to do that.
So about 11 years ago, I got on this fucking whole healthy kick. Was eating really good, working out, and I lost about 100 pounds. And I kept it off for years.
Awesome.
As soon as I lost that weight, I was freezing all the time. All the time.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
Lost all the insulation.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like how it is with my brother. Like I said, he trimmed down into a killing machine, and he's like, I got to put on my trench coat and my hat and all this while we're up at Gary Con. I'm walking around in shorts. I just put a cap on when we're outside.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. Yeah, 74. Jesus, I'd be sweating at 74.
Yeah,
you kidding me? If it was 74, I'd be in boxers and a t-shirt with the fan going.
My heat's already turned off in the house. I had all the windows open today, and I think it was only 60 something.
Yeah. Our windows are open, and the heat's been off for a couple days.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the wife really wants the windows open. She likes having the windows open. So I let her have the windows open, but also I'm not paying to heat the outside. So
right.
Oh yeah.
I don't care. You want the windows open? That's fine. I'm shutting the heat off. I don't. That's And so that pretty much works out. But yeah. Okay. So that was the health portion of our show.
Yeah. Are you the standard gamer? Here's some reasons why you might be running hot.
Yeah.
Number one, fat.
Yeah.
Number two, thyroid.
Yeah. There's only a few reasons.
There's only a handful of reasons.
Do you smell? Well, Joe, you come to CNY RPG Con and get some soap.
People, Mike, I swear, Mike, if people show up and are like, where are all the soap vendors?
You gonna be mad at me?
I'm gonna be mad at you.
If anybody takes anything I say seriously, they're just
came for the soap vendors.
Don't take me serious.
There's one guy that goes to MEPA that it's him and his wife. They do soap, but like he gets a booth there, and then he games all day, and she sells the soap, and I guess they like break even on the trip, like having the buying the booth and getting the badges, like, and the travel and all of that gets pretty much covered, so they're like net zero on the trip. So I mean that's kind of neat, I mean, I don't get the need for a soap vendor
you gotta sell a lot of soap to break even.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know what a booth is there. I mean, it's a smaller convention, so I mean, it's it's probably $100 for a booth or something. I mean,
I mean, I know when I go to Page, I gotta clear a couple grand before I even break even.
I don't think we've had any issues. I don't remember anybody at CNY. I really wasn't gaming last year, so
no, I don't remember anything.
But I don't remember anybody that like I felt needed to have a bar of soap handed to. Like, not at CNY. And I'm not just saying that because it's my convention, but I mean, there have been conventions where I thought that, man, if I had a bar of soap, I would hand it to this dude because
he stinks.
I've had a couple people come into my booths before at different conventions that, probably should have handed them a bar of soap.
Yeah. I wasn't one of them, was I?
No.
Oh, okay. No, it happens, and we were we were just at Page, and there was this girl at the table next to us, and she was like on her knees on the chair, kind of like, and her elbows were on the game table, and she had this big booty that was just like, sticking like our way. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. Like, so, I mean, if I had a bar of soap, then I think I might've,
could have just kind of thrown it in there.
Slapped it on there.
Just thrown it in there. Just slapped it in there. Tuck it in there. There you go.
Well, that's part of the thing with our hobby, though. A lot of the people in this hobby are a lot of them are recluses. They kind of stay at home and do whatever. So some of these people, when they get out to like a convention scene, they don't have social skills. They don't have hygiene. They just
right.
I don't know.
Right.
I wouldn't
say it's rough.
And I would say it probably gets a more of a bad press than it really is, because it's not like everybody's walking around like that. But
one guy. It's that one guy.
Oh yeah.
And everybody, a bad thing. And like that's the nerd smell.
Yeah. That was the thing on what was it? Not Instagram. What was before that? There was the one where they share the images. But anyway, there was the one guy.
Snapchat.
We're trying to figure it out. Either way, it's immaterial. But it was on the East Coast. They had one of those Magic Grand Prix, and the guy was just going around kneeling down next to all the guys with their ass cracks hanging out, and he was just sitting there with his hands and looking at the camera. Yeah, awesome. That guy was a legend, and they banned him, not the disgusting pigs who had their ass cracks out. That's just the way it goes.
Right.
Yeah, I saw where that guy got banned.
Yeah. That guy's a legend, though. But you see that every now and then. You always think about him because you'll come across somebody and you're like, how are you doing this in public? You take almost like sanity damage. You're just like, how? Like, I don't understand how this could be possible. You get like a culture shock,
how you just decide like, yeah, I'm going to go out in public for the first time, this year. And I'm gonna.
I haven't showered in like 4 days.
Yeah,
you're just like,
oh, how do you get? Oh man, like, and I get it, right? Some people are big, they sweat profusely or whatever, but it's like, dude, carry around like some deodorant or like something, or
it's like those idiots that run around, and they do it intentionally, like their pants are down. And they're showing
wow, I mean
and I'm like, I used to love arresting those guys because 9 times out of 10, they'd have a belt on, but their pants was, and I'd be patting them down, handcuff them, get ready to transport them, and I'm like, hey, that belt's not an ornament. Like, it actually has a functional purpose. I'd tell them that all the time. Like,
it was the exact same thing in prison. They'd come walking through the block in the yard and be like, dude, pull your pants up. There's no women here to impress. What are you? It's all guys.
What are you doing?
Yeah, all the underbellies.
Yeah, the underbellies. Yeah,
you just want to go to them and just jiggle it,
shake it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's it's not great. We haven't had a problem at CNY yet, but we only have a track record of 1 year. So
give it a couple years, and then I'm going to sell my gamer body sprays. I'll have some booth babes, and then when they come, when they come trundling up, these bog trolls, we'll just have them just hose them down with it's the mists of Ravenloft. Oh,
you might be on. Listen, you might be onto something. People can put up soap vendors and everything else, and you'll never see anybody at them.
Right.
If you put up you get your booth babes. You got a lot of lonely gamers.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you're selling; they're going to come by and buy it.
They could sell body spray.
You could take a selfie, but you got to get sprayed. That's the rule.
Yeah. There you go. Oh man, that could work.
See, you just gotta,
could be a thing.
Little carrot and stick. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer using the stick than the carrot. I mean, I know the.
I know the carrot. Get the brick.
The carrot's the way to do it. Right. I guess, right? But man, the stick is just so much fun.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I don't know where this was, combat. I guess this is a kind of a combat of its own. It's a challenge to overcome.
Well, I think that's the thing too. One thing I was bringing up that I realized about D&D or just the way that it's evolving over the years is it's trying to do everything. And it seems to me that there are RPGs that focus on like specific aspects, and those are the ones that I like because they're really good at one thing. And it's like, yeah, let's play that if we want. Yeah. The trade empire or whatever, do acts or what have you, or if I want to do more social stuff, play like a storyteller game, World of Darkness type stuff, because all those are just the combat in it sucks because it's that one die pool system, but it works fine socially because you have nature, demeanor, self-control, willpower, stats that are like, oh, okay, this is how I'm supposed to be behaving, and most of the games have like a code of how you're supposed to behave. Those are usually the big ones for role-playing for me. Legend of the Five Rings, Pendragon, stuff like that. If you have chivalry or Bushido, something that your character believes and lives under, then you can't just be just a jerk on a power fantasy in the setting. You actually have to play the character. Whereas if you want combat, there's some games that do it better. Just play those, But
I really loved how Pendragon did that.
Yeah, you mentioned Pendragon. That's Pendragon's BRP, right?
No,
skill based.
It's weird. It's your beliefs are based on it. They run on kind of a range of 20, depending on like how, because you could be like chaste or lascivious. It's like there's like the opposites on the spectrum depending on where you're at in that, and that's what you have to roll lower than depending on what action you're taking. So it's on a D20 roll low. So Roger would vomit playing it. So, but still, it's a great system.
I've played it, and it was it was a good time. It was a weird adventure that we did, but it was fun. But I do enjoy the that kind of alignment system. I definitely want to do an alignment episode and talk about that some more. But I definitely like, because it's like, can you do this? It's like, well, you got to roll and find out. Like, you're trying to do something that goes against your like core beliefs. So like, you got to see if you can actually do it, and then you just can't do it, which I think is fantastic, because I would love something like that for, like paladins or whatever, or anybody that's got a code in like D&D, you know.
Yeah,
and honestly, D&D, the alignment system in that is paladin, non-paladin. That's it. The alignment system as codified is nonsense. People are just like, who cares? But the one guy that pisses everyone off is the paladin, because he has something he believes in and he has to stick with it. And you think, and I always think about it, and I'm like, why doesn't it work like with the cleric then too? They're a priest of a god. Should they have the strongest beliefs out of everybody here? And it's like
they should have to follow whatever their god decrees or whatever.
And then you have the druid. When have you ever seen a player that can actually play neutral?
Yeah, it was hard. I played Bill Sylvie's game as a druid, and I was like,
I mean, if you read like first edition and you read the description of like true neutral, that's freaking hard to play. And it's not really a good group character.
That was the thing. We were always having these kind of alignment issues with stuff, because we had a paladin in the group and all this other stuff, and we had a thief. So it's like, oh shit, paladin and a thief, and then I'm a druid and I'm showing up. And the way I was looking at it was like, well, you have to kind of look at it as almost like the laws of nature. So like my guy, every time we went to a city, I was like, I'm staying out in the woods. Like I was like, I don't do your city stuff. I'm really uncomfortable with that. But I would always be like, okay, this is the pack. We're gonna treat it this way. So whenever they had like interpersonal conflicts, I was always like, all right, we're getting in it, we're settling it, so we can move on, because the pack needs to stick together, kind of thing. And I was like, I could do it this way. But then when people are like, oh, we need to chase this man down and bring him into the law, and I was like, who cares? Like, he fought somebody else and won. That's just the way it works. He was stronger. We need to forget about him. But then they try to explain evil to me, and I'm like, no, that's not how it works. And they would always be pissed off. And it's like, I'll go if this is what you guys want to do, because I'm part of the pack and I'll help out. But I don't understand why we're wasting our time chasing after this guy when we're dealing with something bigger here. So I would always kind of interject it that way. But yeah, playing a true neutral character is...
And I always loved the guys that want to play like a paladin or a lawful good priest. And then every time the players want to do something that would go against their alignment, they're like, I'm going to go out in the other room. I'm like, come on, man.
As if their god doesn't see it or whatever. Or like they don't know what's going on.
It's like the A team. Oh, you just got to knock me out and you can go ahead and do it. You got to,
Here, eat this hamburger while we talk nicely to this guy.
Hamburger, my favorite. Yeah, he passes out. All right, cleric's out. Let's put on murder gloves on.
I think I told that story when I allowed my guys to use, in our second edition game, I let them use the complete handbooks, and I didn't, I used to be like, we're not using these, maybe a rule here or there. I just like, here's the books, go nuts. Let's see how it works. And one guy decided we were playing a campaign that was like going to be seafaring and dungeon crawling. And he decides to make a Sylvan elf who by the book doesn't go underground and doesn't go on boats. And then he makes a fighter and he picks the soldier kit. And he just all these things he picked, and I'm like, dude, how are you going to play that guy in this campaign? He's like, well, think of me like B.A. Baracus. You guys can knock me out to take me on the ship. And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm going to knock you out and tie rocks to you on the ship.
So throw you overboard.
Make sure you follow the combat rules to the T for knocking someone out unconscious. Like when they get to higher levels and like four other people have to like continue to like beat him on the head round after round until his subdual damage is high enough. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, that's just crazy. But I mean, can we have I mean, Call of Cthulhu is probably the closest, right, to like a game without combat. I mean, like a mainstream tabletop RPG.
Oh, mainstream, probably the most out of mainstream, and that's probably why it has such a big female following to it too, where it's more about kind of the story and the horror aspect. Yeah. But I could see why. That's probably why Gaslight is big too, because there's no Tommy guns, there's no like major shotguns type stuff. Like it's a lot of the firearms are scaled back by 30, 40 years. So
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think I mean, I don't know. I'm starting to come around to like the roll under system, a little bit. I mean,
boy, that was quick. Last week you were shitting on it.
No. I I'm not a big fan of like fixed difficulty. Like that's my major, like the rolling low thing. Like I really dislike, like because my brain wants it to go the other direction. But the fixed difficulty thing is like that. That's what like really gets me about it.
Well, you can have variable difficulties in like Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. No, and there's some systems that do it well. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But I got to get over to Mike's at some point, and I'm gonna have to cancel my game and sneak over to Mike's house and not tell anybody.
Don't worry, we won't talk about it at all on stream.
I won't talk about it.
It won't come up at all.
Yeah.
Well, because that was the thing when you first brought up. Yeah, I was like, I don't like roll low games. I was like, so you couldn't have played Call of Cthulhu then, because it's percentile. All percentile games that I know of are roll under. So I think the only one is the old Marvel system. You wanted to roll high or something on your chart, but
yeah. I played the Marvel game. I mean, I've played some like I've played Rifts and stuff.
Yeah.
Rifts I have issues. I have other issues with. But
even D&D, first edition D&D has roll under systems in it.
Percentile stuff. Yeah. No,
right.
It did. But it's not like the core of the game. It was just the thief skills.
Call of Cthulhu, it's just the skills.
Well,
but it's a skill-based game, so that's
but it's everything. It's a skill-based game.
Yeah, but
the role of the game. Like with the D&D thief, it's like this is the subsystem for these like 4 specific thief skills. It's not the entire game's based around it.
Yeah.
I mean, Rifts and like the Palladium stuff. Like I like the idea of Rifts, like the story and the setting and all of that. And if we had just played the core Rifts game, it would have been fine. But a buddy of mine, I like bought all of the books and had, so we were playing Rifts and we had like 20 books. And I remember there was a point where like my character didn't have the right math skill to like, because I had like math, astrophysics, and like math, calculus, but I needed like math engineering to do the role. And that was at like 20 and like the other, because the way the thing was written, I don't know. And I'm like, but I have like an 80 in like math calculus. Like, what do you mean I can't, I can do vector calculus, but if it's advanced algebra, I can't do it. I can't add fractions.
The first time I played Savage Rifts, like I think 4 or 5 years ago, and I was like, "Holy crap, this is so much more fun than regular Rifts." It's still got the wacky background of the world and all that stuff, but Savage Worlds just simplified it into a playable system. So
there were just so many skills at that point because every book adds another couple classes, and they have like 20 more skills that add to it and all that, and it's like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't understand. Like, some of this stuff should stack, and it doesn't because, the books were written by different people, so there's no like crossover there between some of the classes and some of the stuff. So I don't know. I just found it super annoying that I needed specific skills to do, like the drive skill. I remember having an issue with that because I needed to drive like I don't know, like a transport thing or something, and in one of the books there's like a skill for that, and like even though I could drive a tank, like it didn't, like it's a different skill, and it's like it's the same thing, like it's the big military vehicle skill, like I get the need to not just have drive and that's it, and that means you could fly a plane, ride a motorcycle, pilot a tank or whatever, but like drive military land vehicle, maybe, or I mean, that's a ridiculous name, but like, you know what I mean? Like, why do we need that broken down into like 8 different things? Like, I don't know.
That was one of the positives, I think, of Shadowrun was like, you had like the general skills and like they cost you a good chunk to raise up, but then from those you could get the sub skills. So it's like, okay, there's firearms, but I want to specialize in pistols, and then I want to specialize in this model of pistol.
Yeah.
The problem is like, when you get into those specializations of specializations, it's so cheap to upgrade that you're like, all right, now I'm rolling 50 dice. This is ludicrous. Why does the system allow this?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is right. Like you lose that one specific, gun, and it's like now you can't do anything.
Yeah. Well, you could. You
But,
still you're still good at pistols or whatever. But I'm just saying, like at least they had that base level skill that you can branch off of. If you wanted to specialize, so that you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I have a math skill of whatever. It's not as good as if I had math engineering, but at least I can do something. I think that's the big problem. And I see games like that. We're talking about Call of Cthulhu a lot. The gumshoe system was interesting because they wanted to deal with the problem of what happens when you're playing in one of these investigative games and people don't find the clue. Because then the whole train derails and you're like, oh, Jesus, what do we do? So instead, the investigative skills there are just like they have points in them. And they'll just be like, okay, does anybody have accounting? You know this just because you have the accounting skill, but if you spend your point, you can get an extra clue. And then, so there is no, a bad die roll screwed everything up, guys. Sorry, we're done. Now we have to wait for the GM for an hour and a half while he tries to brainstorm how to get us back on track.
And that's the system they used for that Delta Green in the 60s game, right? They used the
Fall of Delta Green. Yeah, that's
Fall
the one that's based in kind of like the Vietnam era when they finally got cut off by the government because they were doing the CIA in general was doing really dark stuff in Southeast Asia, but then you get these guys involved and it's like, yeah, we're gonna write them off. So
So you brought up Drive. And it was funny because this actually came up in our game when they were making characters, because they were like they had the starter set rules which list these skills, but they don't have descriptions for them. So I pulled out the book and they were asking me about Drive, and they're like, "Does that mean I can't drive a car if I don't have it?" And I read it to them, and it's literally 3 sentences here, and it just basically says. The drive skill is for handling an automobile or a motorcycle safely in a crisis. Unless the handler says otherwise, every agent has a driver's license and can drive a car safely in normal conditions. Use this skill to keep a vehicle safe in a high-speed pursuit or dangerous terrain. I like that because now it's like you don't need that skill to drive the car. You need it if you're going to do something crazy.
Yeah, and it's weird, right? Like games never called that out, like in the past, or at least some of the games that I played, right? So I remember playing some older like superheroes games and things like that, where we were younger and kids and trying to screw each other around or whatever. But it was like, oh, I'm driving, 3 blocks, and it's like, oh, you gotta get make a drive check, or whatever, and you roll and you fail the roll, and it's like, you're on the way to the mailbox and you crash into the mailbox and the mail goes flying everywhere, or whatever, like just dumb, dumb stuff like that.
Well, people would do that all the time with 2nd edition D&D and the non-weapon proficiencies. And they'd be like, well, if you don't have land-based riding, you can't ride a horse. Well, no, sure you can. You can hop on that horse just like anybody could.
Anybody in medieval times should be able to ride a horse.
Yeah, you might be able to only get like 1 speed out of it because you're not going to be comfortable, making a canter or whatever. But that's it.
You're not going to jump a fence, with it,
fight from the back of it.
The combat.
Right. Yeah, you're going to be that guy that struggles to get his ass up on the horse and then rides the whole way. By the time they get there, he's walking around all bow-legged because his ass is killing him. And, that's the guy without skill.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah. Interesting. But what do you, so Delta, you've been playing, you just played the 1 session of Delta Green.
Just played the 1 session so far.
Did you have them create characters then?
I did. I gave them the option. I had the pre-gens made up, and they said they wanted to make characters. And I said, well, listen, we could do the pre-gens. I said, but this isn't just a one-shot. We're going to continue with this, provided you guys survive it. So they decided they wanted to make their own characters. And it was fine.
They all survived?
We have a 5-hour session, and we literally finished up 10 minutes before we were, out of time. So it was probably 3 hours or so for the adventure, which I had looked it up ahead of time. Most people said you could do it in like a 3-hour session. But that's the shortest of all. No other ones are like that. Even the small ones are still like multi-session usually.
Yeah.
The one I'm about to run, people are saying, they're running 12 to 15 hours in it.
That's cool.
So
are there stopping points, or is there like chapters or sections, or it's just that? I mean, that's good and bad, but
this starter adventure is pretty linear. It was just they're going to go to the apartment, they're going to investigate, they're going to find clues to the cabin, they're going to go to the cabin. It pushed them along, but most of the adventures aren't like that. Most of them are like, here's your briefing, this is what you got to do. And I'm trying to get them to understand that just because I don't put it out there, say you want to find out something about this building, tell me you want to go to the, to the county building and look up, see if you can find plans when the building was created, or you want to, go to the morgue and inquire about this, or, just because it's not there. This isn't like, they're used to D&D being very few options of what you could do in that respect. Mm-hmm. This is more wide open, and it's a lot easier to relate to because it's, it's more like modern life. So it's easier for them to come up with ideas of what they might be able to do. I told them, I go, don't be shy about it. If there's something you want to try, just ask. Can I do this? Can I go here? Sure.
Yeah, especially with it being a modern investigative, that's what people don't realize. It's like in one game I had a guy who was an NSA agent, and it was like he was the computer guy. So it was like, yeah, he could dig up all kinds of records and what have you. So the closest thing to a combat type guy we had in that group was a park ranger. It's like people knew, like, you're not going to, I'm going to play Navy SEAL. Well, good luck. You're not going to be doing a whole lot.
Right. That's what I told him. I go, if you guys all want to play like FBI agents, that's fine. But keep in mind, combat is deadly. You're trying to avoid it.
Yeah.
I said, if you're going to focus on your gunplay skills and everything else, you're going to suffer in other areas. So they did good. They made a rounded group out of it. And they were like, what about, do I need to take like somebody with medical? And I'm like, dude, if you get screwed up and shot, you're going to the hospital if you survive it.
Yeah.
You're getting some kind of medical attention. You're not, the healer's not coming out and throwing some bandages on your chest and calling it a day.
Yeah. I know when we played Call of Cthulhu, like my second character in the Mass campaign, because that was one of the glaring things. Like, obviously, you're going to get hurt, and I'm not talking about just fighting mythos things, like because there's cultists and all, like regular people that you fight.
Sure,
that was something I was like, oh man, like we need a medic, like we're frigged. And so my second character was exactly that. I played some, I don't know, he was like from Africa or something, but like he was actually good with a sword. Like he sucked with guns, but he was good with a sword because that was his tribe's thing. But like he was like, I could tend wounds and stuff. It was super helpful. But yeah.
In those games too, the other thing with the doctor, it's not, because that's the thing. Since everybody comes from D&D, they always think, oh, the doctor is going to be the cleric, you're going to be the heal bot, and it's like, no. You're going to be doing a lot of autopsies, you're going to find a lot of bodies, and you're going to be trying to figure out like what happened here exactly. It was funny, we were playing the FASA Star Trek over at GaryCon, and they were like, oh, okay, so you're like the healer guy? And I was like, I mean, I can do a lot of stuff. I've got biology, sciences, all kinds of, like me and the science officer, we can figure out most things.
So now that's another thing I was going to bring up, talking about games that aren't necessarily focused around combat. Mm-hmm. Now, we've all seen Star Trek, and there's definitely a degree of combat in it. But like you watch episodes of Star Trek, there could be entire episodes with nothing. There's no real conflict in it. It's all about, could be investigative or exploration or whatever, and it doesn't necessarily have combat. Yeah. That's another game that could be taken that way. It's not. Yeah. It's not really. That's the last thing I would think of if I'm thinking Star Trek. The last thing I'm thinking is that's a heavy combat game.
Yeah,
sure. I was thinking. Go ahead, Stan.
I like talking about different games. Like for the fantasy realm, like I've never played it, but I have it. I've read it. The one that kind of sticks out to me that you might be able to get away with like more minimal combat might be like Forbidden Lands, where it's more like exploration style. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's obviously plenty of room for combat in it, but like,
that's what I was going to say. You definitely come across some stuff that's there's no way out. But
somebody's running Forbidden Lands at CNY. I was just looking at this earlier. There's a Forbidden Lands game there with some seats on it still.
Cool. I was thinking about Traveler. And you'd mentioned like Star Trek, but like Traveler, I think like combat is kind of, dangerous. I mean, and the system I think is really geared to play like Space Trucker, game. I think that's, and so I think to do a campaign like that, I think is, like, I mean, you could probably run the whole campaign without, planning on doing combat. I mean, I don't know. Again, that's going to depend on players, like,
Can you get like a flying Winnebago in that game?
Or whatever. You can, yeah. I mean,
like Spaceballs. I mean,
yeah,
he was basically a space trucker.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's but like that's definitely a way to do it, and you can definitely avoid combat, with that. But again, it depends on how it's played. Like you could play it like a Star Trek or like, closer to like a Star Wars or something, and then get into, firefights and things like that. But I don't know if you really want to.
Well, that's what I'm looking forward to. Mongoose, at least, is doing a version. It runs off the Traveler system, but the game's called Pioneer, and it's about it's almost like you're playing astronauts, but you're doing, you're getting off of Earth and finally building like, stations and stuff. It builds into different eras, so you can play like a later era where it's more like the Expanse, where it's in the solar system, and
that's cool.
All the other planets are kind of inhabited or whatnot. But I was like, okay, I wanted to play a Traveler game where it was more like kind of Star Trek-y, more problem solving, where you're using, there isn't magic, but people that are like really skilled at things practically are magicians. Because you look at some of the stuff those NASA guys pull off, and you're like, wow, that's just amazing. But then I saw in the character creation, because I downloaded the thing that had a Kickstarter for it, and there was like, oh yeah, and you might start with like your family gun, and I was like, no. Like that one, it hit me in the heart. I was like, no guns. There's plenty. We play Traveler if I want guns or anything like that. God damn it.
We could play. You could play Traveler in 5e now.
Yeah, I saw that
5e Traveler or whatever. Which I'm like, what's
good on them?
There's no point of this really.
So like, it's really stupid what they did, because they're calling it Traveler 5e, but there is a Traveler 5e that's not 5e.
Right.
So there's a 5th edition
Traveler.
Yeah, and it's like,
yeah,
I don't know, man.
And then there's Traveler 5e. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Yeah,
there's Traveler 5, which is this enormous phone book. Yeah,
there you go.
And it's it ain't great either. So
yeah, for a brief moment I thought about buying Traveler, but there's so many freaking books.
I like the classic Traveler, but like classic Traveler, you can buy like the little black books, right? You get the 3 books, and then I think there's like the next book is like the Mercenaries one, and then there's like a Planets one, or what. There's like a couple, and you don't really need those, right? Because there's all like the random generation stuff in the 3 main books, but there's like, I don't know, 15, 16 of those little books that have different modules, different adventures, different, places, races, things like that. And I mean, it's kind of neat, but you can really run a huge Traveler game, I think, with just the core books. Even just use the random generation stuff. Like, and sure. I mean, I would love to do that with a group. Like, and I was considered doing that. I know I mentioned it before, like doing like a Voyager type of thing where you're trying to get home and you just, you generate the hex map as you go, and you just say, okay, we're going to start in this hex here, and we're going to try and get to this hex down here that's whatever 100 hexes away, and like let's try and survive it and see what happens. And
I like the idea of stuff like that, where it's just you don't have a protocol, because one of the most boring things you can do in D&D is go shopping. Oh my god, when they go into town and they just spend a whole session just like, we're gonna go. You're like, this is the worst. This is like, why would we get together and do this?
I tell people to shop between sessions.
Yeah.
And Jason tells a story about that. He was in a group. He drove like an hour and a half to like play with some people, and that's all they did is shop for 3 hours. And then he drove. He watched someone else buy shit, and then drove an hour and a half home. And I'm laughing. He'd be so mad thinking about it. But yeah.
Hey, did we lose chat tonight, or did everybody
it seemed to have.
Did everybody get sick of listening to us and just leave?
Everybody got Everybody got.
No, you might want to check refreshing or something, because maybe it stopped when you disconnected for that short second. Because I was sitting there, I was like, man, this is just locked in on this Dan Tesh comment here, and it's never moved past that. Huh?
Hey, are you guys still watching us, or is anybody in the chat?
Yes, somebody say
something. Anybody out there?
Oh,
hey, Dan's still there. See, we're just so riveting. Our conversation is so riveting.
Dan's the only one left.
Dan's.
There we go.
He decided he's got nothing better to do but listen to us tonight.
Oh man,
Lord.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be great, and like I would love to do the traveler thing. Like I would love to do that, like with the players, like do it GM-less, and just procedurally like generate everything, like set the game up, and then go from there. Oh, Dan, what are you cooking for dinner? What are you cooking? We want to know. Well, the fat ones want to know.
I was like, wait, which one of? Oh yeah, that's right. Stan's not fat. Oh well, maybe someday, Stan. Maybe someday.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, there you go. Tacos. Oh, it's Taco Tuesday.
That's true.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Nice.
I can't see how many people are in chat. Is Dan the only one we have left?
On YouTube, looks like 5 are watching.
5 on my channel, 2 on Stan's. So we got 7 people total.
Yeah.
And I got nobody on mine.
got nobody on yours right now, but
right.
That's okay.
We had a bunch earlier, and then I think we lost them when we were talking about gamers' health, or that's what Tenkar calls his. Yes, I can't say that. That's trademark Tenkar's Tavern.
Yeah.
We did that. I don't know, but this is sounding good, Dan. It sounded good. And hot sauce. I'm out.
What?
Oh, you gotta have hot
sauce. Is that a health thing? You can't have hot sauce?
No, he's just a
I'm just a pussy.
Okay. Well, at least you
no, I can't. I can't do hot sauce. I can't do it. My eyes will water. I bought some hot sauces for the wife and a friend of mine, and like I was opening them up at arm's length, and like my eyes start watering and everything. It's bad.
I've got about 8 opened hot sauces in my fridge. I got about 10 more sitting in a cupboard that haven't been opened yet.
I'm okay with a little bit of spice or whatever, but like the wife will put Frank's hot sauce or whatever it is.
That's
right
not
on.
That's not hot sauce.
Stop. Just listen to me.
Okay.
You call me a pussy before I even say it. She'll put it on her macaroni and cheese, and if we're both sitting on the couch eating mac and cheese, and she's got hot sauce on hers, my nose will twinge and stuff. I'll
Well, I'll defend you on one. I'll defend you on one thing.
I just can't do it.
I'll defend you on one thing. Putting hot sauce in mac and cheese. Macaroni and cheese is one of those foods that will do nothing at all to absorb or dilute that hot sauce. It'll take over the flavor of mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put hot sauce in mac and cheese because it just completely takes away the flavor. But
yeah, at that point, the mac and cheese is just a delivery mechanism to get the hot. Might as well just drink the hot sauce.
Makes it easier.
I'll tell you the one thing that I can tolerate that most people I talk to can't. And that's Kraken rum.
Well, I can't think.
Crack and rum or
Kraken.
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 My brain went there, and I was like, I don't think he does crack. It has to be Kraken.
Why can't?
No, I don't do crack.
Why do you say people can't tolerate it?
People don't like it. There's people that won't drink it. The smell, it's too strong of a smell, too strong of a taste.
No such thing.
It's too dark for them.
No such
I
like dark beers.
Yeah. There you go. Well, I'll bring some Kraken to CNY. And,
all right.
I gotta get a bottle of something.
You'll have the Kraken, and Edgelord said he's going to have the Blantons.
Yeah,
I
drunk by Saturday night.
Rum over whatever we were drinking last year.
It's going to be good. That was Maker's Mark last year.
I didn't drink last year. It was me and my daughter, and I was driving home, so I didn't drink.
I think I had one beer at dinner or something, but then when we had the after party there. That was
because you left,
rugged.
Mike, right? You left that night. We had like a little after party. I did a speech and everything. And
when? Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday night.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there Friday, early Friday, all the way through Sunday. So
yeah, it might be Friday night. It might be Saturday night. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I don't plan to sit and watch Conan. I plan to. So hopefully there'll be people to mingle with, have some drinks and whatnot.
Oh yeah. No, that's what I'm planning. I'm planning on having Conan running and handing out popcorn and stuff, and people hanging out.
Yeah,
and, talking and stuff. I don't expect everybody to be sitting down watching the movie.
But I'm fat. I'll eat your popcorn.
Free popcorn. Popcorn. I'm gonna have a popcorn guy and everything. It's gonna be great.
Telling you, I'm gonna show up. I'll bring some of my craft beers with me. I'll partake in your Kraken. Maybe take some gummies. Drink.
There you go.
I'll be stupid.
Oh man,
I'm not getting
some gummies. Yeah. No, that'd be cool. What else? I don't know. I wrote down. I know Paul will love this. I wrote down Cortex Prime. I think is would be good for like a non-combat. The system I think is a little overcomplicated and it's got fiddly bits with it. But like when you assign damage, like you're not really assigning. You're assigning conditions and stuff that they roll. So like. I mean, it's just as easy to assign a die, to, like if it's a verbal thing or something, like, to tongue twist somebody if you're having a verbal argument with them or something, or to like, anything like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a physical, combat thing.
That's the one where you like the lowest is like you put a D4 on it and it can scale up or down or whatever, depending on the damage that you're doing, like, or the effects.
Yeah, it's sort of. Yeah, there's things like that, and then you're rolling 3 dice, and like 2 of them you add together as like your to hit whatever it is.
The Margaret Weiss Marvel game was that, wasn't it? Where it's like you pick one from each of the columns.
Yes, she used that Cortex. Yeah, of course. The problem with Cortex Prime is it's a hodgepodge of rules that you have to put together yourself. To figure out what you want to use and all of that. So there's different ways of doing it. But then like the effect die. What's that, Mike?
I just
never heard of it.
No, I never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Either. It's got some interesting things. The cool stuff about it is like you can add things. So like if you want to tie somebody up, right, you'll roll the 3 dice and say it's like a DC 11, right? So, and you roll like, an 8 and a 3 on 2 of the dice. So there's your 11. And then the other die is a D8. Well, basically you got the 11 on those. And then the D8, the number on it doesn't matter. You assign the D8 to the person. So now they have the ability or whatever that's called tied up, and it's a D8. And so now everything that they do that uses, that being tied up would interfere with, you roll the tied up die with it.
Right.
And that like subtracts from their number.
Yeah. So it's almost like Fate in that way. Otherwise, Fate's a little bit more simple because everything works on like a 2 scale. So it's like, it's either +2 to the difficulty or +2 to your roll, depending on who's tagging the aspects and stuff like that. But that really seems like where they kind of got that from. I forgot about that. Yeah. Cause it's been 2 or 3 years since I played the Margaret Weiss, Marvel. Cause you roll all the dice. And then if you succeed on 2 of them for the target number, then you get to take the 3rd one and put that on them as like damage or whatever.
Yeah. You can use it as like whatever you want, like basically not whatever you want. I mean, whatever narratively makes sense.
Right. Well, I did like that because you're not sitting there banging on a number. You're not punching at hit points. Instead, it's like, okay, I'm going to, whatever, you're Sue Storm. So you're like, I'm going to create an invisible thing to lock him down, or, Spider-Man, you're going to web his foot to the floor or whatever. It'll hinder him. So you're trying to build that up until the bad guy can't fight anymore. You're not just there. Yeah. You're not just there punching each other until somebody hits 0 and falls over. So,
yeah. It's kind of neat. It's just, it's at the table. It works fiddly. Yeah. Clunky, I guess is a better term for it. Cause it's like, well, does this really apply? And you'd think like for the most part, I think for the most part, especially in like a combat thing, like it makes sense. Like, you're all going up against a bad guy, especially in a Marvel thing, like Sue Storm putting up a force field, Spider-Man webbing somebody up. Like all those dice are going to the same thing. Like it might be webbed up and it might be the force field thing, but they're all basically to slow the villain down or to try and stop them from moving. So eventually they just can't, overcome all that. But yeah, some of it seems a little fiddly, and then like trying to figure out the numbers and stuff. Sometimes I don't know. Anytime when you have 3 dice and you have to take the totals of 2 of them, like I don't know, man. Yeah. Maybe it's just my players, but like
it's a little strange that Best Left Buried works a lot like that. That's like a low rules kind of dungeon crawler type of game. But when you do combat, you do like the 3d6 and like you use 2 of them to hit and the other one's your damage. So you're not doing separate rolls. It's like, you just roll it all at once. It's wacky, but
Yeah, it's interesting. And I mean, I think things like that work, for non-combat stuff as well as combat, because you're like, like you said, it's not a bag of hit points, right? You're just kind of affecting. So it doesn't matter if you, befuzzle them with bullshit.
Right.
Like they get that befuzzled condition. It's going to slow them down. So long as you can convince the GM that that's going to, stop them from, winning the math contest or whatever you're doing.
Right. Well, it's interesting because, at Gary Con, I got to finally try out the Sentinel Comics game.
Oh,
and that seems like it's almost like I don't know, it makes more sense than Cortex because you're not putting using that third die on there. Instead, like your abilities will tell you, like, okay, use your middle die or your low die, depending on how powerful the ability is. Usually the most powerful one is like your top 2 dice are added together, and then your third one adds a whole other effect.
Mid plus max.
Wow, okay. Yeah. But that one was interesting because what was it? It was like when you hit guys with a negation thing, it just stepped down their die or something like that.
Yeah.
It made it harder for them to do things.
Just drops the die one, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, oh wow, this is very kind of intuitive just playing it. It was still kind of confusing for new players because you look at it and you're like, there's a lot of colors here. I can't use all my abilities. How does this work? And it's like, oh, okay, as the scene goes and people are getting beaten down, you start doing your more desperate maneuvers that are more powerful. It's like, okay.
Yeah. That made sense to me. Like a lot of people can't, like they look at it and they're like, why can't I just do the thing? And it's like, well, when Superman shows up, the first thing he does when there's a guy robbing a bank, like the first thing he does is not pick up a car and throw it at the guy.
Right. He doesn't shoot him with his eye beams immediately. Yeah.
Right. Like he tries to grab them gently so he doesn't, crush their body. Right. And then it's like, oh, the guy's made of metal. And it's like, oh, okay. And like he punches you, he hits you hard. Like, oh, okay, now you're down in yellow. Like, so now you can use like, now you're okay. Now I'm going to punch this guy full force. But like, oh, he's got a kryptonite chest thing or what, like, and then you get to the point where you're like, okay, now I start chucking cars at him or, I try and throw him into the sun. Right. Like,
yeah,
you don't start with that,
Yeah, that was the cool thing playing Legacy because you have that one ability where it's just like, I'm going to throw out a buff and everyone on the team, at least until the start of my next turn, gets that plus for all of their actions. And they were just like, wow. And I was like, it's huge, isn't it? You're like being supportive.
He's definitely like this. He looks like the Superman character, but he's he's the like support. Yeah. It's really cool. I really like the game. I ran a short campaign with it. Character creation is like huge. There's a lot going on to do it, to go through all the charts and stuff. It takes a bit.
Sure.
So like you really need to, like, if you're going to create characters, you're not running that as a one shot.
No. Yeah.
You know, like you
that's a session 0 to build it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so I did like, I think 4 or 5 sessions. I did kind of like a mini game with a mini campaign, and it worked out great. And I mean, I liked it. It was fun, and I think the guys enjoyed it, So, but yeah, it was kind of cool. Yeah, definitely less fiddly than Cortex. Yeah. But yeah. Other than that, like, I know like Cypher has some stuff for not like combat stuff, but I don't think I'm not a big fan of Cypher.
That's a Monty Cook one, right?
Is it? Yeah.
I have yet to play one of his games where I was like, wow, this was amazing. Every time I play his games, I'm like, oh, okay. But everybody else around me is like really jazzed. They're like, "Isn't this a great game?" And I'm like, "I'm among odd people because I didn't like that at all."
I think the only game of his that I've played is Old Gods of Appalachia. I played a session of that.
Yeah, and that's Cypher system.
And my thought was it's a great setting, like the setting's awesome, but you could have done the same thing with Call of Cthulhu.
Yes. Yeah,
the base of the system I think is fine. It's beyond that it starts to fall apart. Like the whole thing with the levels, like if it's a 5th level challenge or whatever, it's a multiple of 3, so that means you need to roll a 15. But like, oh, okay, you have a thing that works against it, so it drops it from a 5 to a 4, so now you just need a 12 or whatever.
Oh,
like if you have the appropriate skill and if you have the appropriate like item or whatever, like it drops the difficulty of it. So like that part's not terrible with Cypher, but but like what really hangs up like a lot of people is when you realize basically in order to add things to a roll, you have to spend your limited bag of hit points to do that. And it's really weird. Dan's got a question for us. What tabletop RPG do you guys think is the most robust at all character levels? None whatsoever.
Yeah. It always seems like playtesting has failed at some point or another in one of these games. Like, you'll hit a level.
So he says 5e falls apart, level 9, CNC has issues. So any D20 system starts to fall apart around level 10 or so, which is why a lot of the old school games just cap them.
Yeah, if you look at some of them,
like 14,
Hyperborea,
even CNC caps at 12 technically. Then everything from 13 up is like optional because they know that it falls apart. Shadow Dark is 10.
How about I'll throw this one out there since we brought them up a million times today. Delta Green and Call of Cthulhu. It's not level based. You're just as good late in the. You're just as good late in the game as you are early in the game. Well, actually, you're not as good late in the game.
No.
You start off the best you're going to be.
Well, no, wait. But hang on. You can improve skills though as you go.
You can.
It's like 1d4, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you use a skill and you fail it, you have the chance to improve it.
Yeah.
You improve skills by actually failing them, not by succeeding.
Yeah, and you could use downtime to learn stuff too. It isn't terribly powerful.
But I would say the difference between you playing your first adventure and the last one where he dies, it's still going to be just as fun going through the game. It's not like D&D, you get, like you said, you get to level 20 in D&D, you've just overpowered everything. There's no real challenge. Yeah.
The problem is hit points. It's like, you're just like, at that point, you're like, all right, you lowly kobolds, I'm just going to go and kill the whole mountain of you. And it's just, it's ridiculous. And people try to say like, well, it's not physical. It's, like your luck.
Like this, which is basically a D20 version of Call of Cthulhu. That would work.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it not level based?
No.
You just
level up skills and stuff.
Yeah, you spend experience to like raise up skills and gain talents, I think, from it.
Well, no. In this, it's a little bit different. Like, so what happens is you, like all Free League games, at the end you have questions you answer.
Yeah.
If you answer yes, you get a chance. So usually it's up to like, if you get all of it, it's like 5, and then you get 5 rolls. So what you want to do, like Call of Cthulhu, I want to raise my battle axe skill. So I want to roll and fail that roll, and if I fail it, I get to bump it up 1. Which it gets harder and harder to do because your skill gets higher. So you're rolling a D20, and you'll never get a skill better than 18. That's the max. And
but then you get a special ability or whatever, right?
Yeah, if you get a skill to 18, you earn a heroic ability. And you can, they have a host of them you can pick from. Yeah, they're great.
I forgot what it was. I think my GM talked to Frank Mentzner, and he was saying like for D&D, like honestly, it was like level 8 or 9. He's like, just retire him at that point. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
It's interesting. Frank doesn't even run, D&D.
Yeah,
like if you play in one of his games, he's rolling 2d6 and just I mean, just kills everybody. But that's what he. He just rolls 2d6 for everything. Like that's.
Yeah.
Seems like that's what those old school guys do, because I played with Jim Ward, and that's all. It was just like, he would hand out a skull when you died, and that was your souvenir. He'd sign it, and you're like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Just killing people.
Dan,
isn't it Sword and Wizardry?
Swords and Wizardry works at all levels. Dan, you're wrong, Dan.
Isn't it basically 0th edition?
Clone?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
it's 0E basic.
That was Matt Finch, right? I think did that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I get like your hit points drop once you're hit like 9th level. Like that's the highest. Like you get, +1, +2, or +3 or whatever every level. Until a fixed number.
I don't know about 3rd edition and beyond, but that followed through till at least through 2nd edition. Once you hit 9th level, you stop.
But it was still too much.
Yeah,
it's still too much.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're a fighter that say had a an +4 hit point bonus for your Constitution, that's a possible 14 hit points per level for the first 9 levels. Right. That's a lot of hit points.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so if you just make it your Constitution is your base hit points at level 1, and then maybe like 1 hit point a level. Yeah. Dragonbane, it doesn't even go up, right? Unless you take
you have to take a heroic ability to raise it.
Yeah, it's not called toughness. Is it toughness?
It's called robust.
Robust, okay. But yeah, I mean something like that might work to make Swords and Wizardry, work okay. But I don't think the D20 aspect of Swords and Wizardry gets broken. Just because it's using OD&D's table, but I don't know. Yeah, max ability modifiers are +1, -1. Yeah, and that's like 15 or above is a +1. I mean, that's fine. It definitely, brings the D20 system down, to a normal level, but Dan, usually I'm on the receiving end of it, so and not from my wife, from these guys, so.
Well, you're usually wrong.
See what I mean, Dan? See what I mean? No, I get it. That definitely brings the D20 system down a little bit, but so it's not completely broken. But the problem is on the other end as well with, not just that you're adding, 20 to a roll, but that, you've got 50 hit points and, you're only getting dealt, 1d8 damage to you or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, I get it, but also I don't know. I don't know what the alternative is. Like the alternative is like super low hit points, but then you have people that even in my Shadow Dark game, people, we have characters that will roll 2 hit points and then, I don't know. It seems like the group isn't avoiding combat still, they still go into the dungeons and they're still getting into fights and all that stuff. And I mean, I guess that's the normal, that's like the typical D&D thing, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Go in the
dungeon crawler.
Kill the monsters.
If you're not going into the dungeons in Shadow Dark, I'm not quite sure what you're doing.
Honestly, that's what I was saying the other day about Shadow Dark. I was like, that game really just should focus on delves. Like that's what it is. You're always going into some kind of dungeon, cavern, deep mythical hell world or whatever you're doing, because you have the torch mechanic and the initiative mechanic that is all very built on that. I think games that focus on their strength are just much more fun to play because I mean, time will tell if all the Cursed Scroll stuff with the hex crawling and all that is going to add to the game.
Yeah.
But really, it seems
I'm trying that.
That kind of turned me off. I felt, now that I got into it, I felt like it was a bit of a bait and switch, and not necessarily by Kelsey, but by the every game has it. But there are some very extreme fanboys with Shadow Dark, and they'll all tell you, "Oh yeah, it's a great system. It's fully complete. You can do anything you want in it." Sure, but there's so many other of the same style of RPGs that handle all the other aspects better.
I think the base rules for it are fine. Or is it? Oh, how much did you pay for that?
I don't know, probably too much.
$50.
50? Was it 50? Because it's a special edition. Yeah.
Oh,
I saw the Fancy Pants one at GaryCon, and I picked it up, and I had such sticker shock. I asked a random guy next to me. I said, "Does that say $75 on it?"
Oh wow!
Like,
yes, I just saw that as you said it. I just saw it says $75 on the back. Yeah, I think
and
it
I
was 50.
Like, this book was I was like, this book is slimmer than Shadow Dark, but it is it's $75. I was like,
but you know, and I like this. I don't think it's that bad, but
I haven't played it. I'm just judging it off the sticker price.
I think I would rather, if I was going to play a game that's like space horror, I would run Mothership or Alien, probably Mothership though. If I wanted to run like a Star Trek type game, I would probably use Traveler. If I wanted to do Star Trek or Star Wars, I don't know. I probably
West End Star Wars was pretty good.
West End Star Wars.
It was just out of the box. Like you're like, does what it needs to do. So,
Paul, did you see his?
You want me to get you the print files for it?
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I remember.
Turn it to the side. Turn it to the side view.
Oh, that was the fan one, right? That they smashed in all the extra. Yeah.
So the nice part about it is like the first half of the book is just the regular D6 stuff. The second edition revised and expanded, and then they went and, of course, they redid it, put it in color with graphics. It looks beautiful. It looks like a modern book, but it's all the same rules. And then the back of the book, they added some of the supplement stuff into it. But you don't have to use it if you don't want to. I mean, it's there, but you don't have to use it. The nice thing that they did was, which I thought, if we're going to play it, I'm going to do it. If you see the table of contents, they have a section for each one. And when they went and made them, there is basically a cover for each one, and each one's a different color to correspond with it.
Oh, there you go.
So I was thinking I was going to actually take it and make 5 books out of it, each one with their own cover for each section of it. Cool. And then it'd be a good table copy. So when people want to look something up, you can just hand them the book section.
Yeah.
But if I decide I'm going to play it, I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
we're getting close here. One of the questions that I wanted to ask you guys is what's your favorite resolution mechanic, or your go-to, right? I guess resolution mechanic for non-combat stuff. Like what one do you like to use? Man, I really thought you guys were going to jump on percentile.
I was just going to say, I actually do like the skill-based system with Delta Green and Call of Cthulhu. I do like the fact that everybody has a base percentage. Then based on your profession, you get other points to add. And then here you go. Here's this many points that you can apply towards the other stuff and really flesh it out how you want. I like that. No two characters are going to be alike.
Yeah. I think like if I'm playing if I'm playing Call of Cthulhu or Dragonbane, something like that, I like those systems, obviously. But if I'm playing like a D&D type game, I like rolling under their attribute. Like, oh, you want to do this? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I always did. Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
one of the neat things that came up, I don't know why I never thought of this, but like when I was playing Dragon Slayer at OSR Con, if something was particularly challenging, what Tom would do is he'd be like, roll under half your attribute. And I was like, oh, that's a good rule. Okay. Like, so if it's harder, like, if I have an 18 strength, I got to roll a 9 or less. If it's
that's something Call of Cthulhu does as well, right? Like,
yes. They have different. You have, and then if you have hard and extreme.
Extreme is divided in half.
Regular, hard, and extreme,
or whatever.
Yeah, and a fifth or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, my
okay.
my Sunday DM for his AD&D mutant that he's kind of has mashed up. What he does is he'll do attribute checks, and like the easiest it is 3d6 try to get under your attribute, but the harder it gets is he'll just add d6s. So like the most we've ever had was try to 66 under your attribute. It's like, oh my god, this is gonna be it's one of those eye of the needle type things,
Yeah.
So
I've heard of that. I've never seen it at the table. So curious as to how that works out.
Were you able to tell what I thought of Siege?
No, I didn't. What did you have bad thoughts on it? Wait, hang on. You're gonna do it again?
No, I'm not gonna do it again. I don't want to get you in trouble with YouTube.
Hyperborea has some interesting, like they don't do the roll under, but like they have the, what is it they're called? Extraordinary feats of like strength or constitution or whatever, and it's
I like
a D12 roll. Yeah, I like those too.
Yeah, that's like that was the old. What was that? That was these original D&D thief
Ben
stuff,
Bars
right?
Lift
Where
Gates.
It was all
Ben
like
Bars Lift
D6.
Yeah,
it would give you like when you'd level up, it'd give you an extra like pip on the die that you'd have to roll under for. Yeah.
I like for that specifically, like OSE does that well because in one of the carcass crawlers they have rules for you can basically like design your thief skills the way you want. Like if you wanted to be somebody that was a really good pickpocket, you could put all your extra pips, and you could raise it as high as 5 and 6. You would suck at a lot of your other skills, but like if you're like, I'm playing a street urchin that runs around and lifts purses all day to survive, I'm not necessarily a second story man or locksmith. Yep. I just need to be good at that, or sneaking and stuff, So I like that. I like that rule for that, but just it's so simple. Like the roll under is just roll under your attribute, and it's just so. And I prefer that stuff at the table, like not having to sit there and do a bunch of math stuff to figure stuff out. I just want to keep the game going.
Yeah, Lamentations, that's how their thieves work. You just get like a pool of pips, and then as you level up, you can fill in some more. The one of the mechanics that I'm liking from Drawsteel is actually negotiation with NPCs. It's really smart because that everybody has motivations. You just don't know what the NPC's motivations are. They'll have a certain level of interest in what you're trying to negotiate them with, and then they have a level of patience. And if their patience ever hits 0, they're done. They're like, all right, well, so you're trying to get you're trying to get their interest to the end before their patience dips. And the way you do that is like you're trying to read what they're saying as you're doing the negotiations to find out what their motivations are. Because when you use their motivations in that's when you can actually go up. And it was interesting watching my one buddy, because he was just trying to brute force it like it was a skill in a role-playing game, where it's just like charisma roll, and it was like you said the same thing 3 times, that's an automatic failure. And the guy was just like, you're wasting my time, and he got up and left. And he was like, what the fuck? And then we went over the rules, and it's like, yeah, you have to sit there, talk to them, find out what they want, offer to give them what they want, because that's how negotiation works, and it slowly builds up to the success. And for a game that's pretty much a combat skirmish, I was like, wow, it's a sharp negotiation game. That's or system that they had in it. But
I might be playing that Friday on a one shot. So
let me know what you think.
I will. Yeah, my friend offered it, and I was like, yeah, I'll play. I looked at the books after you and I were going back and forth in Bloodworth stream the other day, and I was at the game store, and they had the books on display. So I looked at it. I mean, I don't need another new system, but my friend that runs the game store wants to run it, so I was like, yeah, I'll play.
Yeah, it's weird now though, seeing because I'm getting on Facebook ads for one that's kind of like an anime type of game that's based on that system, and then I saw that there's one called Heart of Cthulhu. And I read and I was like, what is this? And it said compatible with Daggerheart. And I was like, we're having systems based on art.
I saw that.
I was like, we're having games based on these systems now? That's kind of interesting, especially since Daggerheart's nigh unplayable. But
so there's a buddy of mine, Ken. I don't know if you remember seeing Ken on the stream. He runs on Tuesdays, so it's rare that he can pop in.
Oh, he does Chiselheart, right?
Chiselheart. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, he's doing that. Which is interesting. So, and he's running, I think, 4 games of that at CNY, and he runs online and all of that. And he's trying to like OSRify, I guess. I don't even know if that's It's a verb now, right?
Honestly, like I said, to me now it's just a marketing term. I don't even know what it means. People bring it up.
It is. It's I don't even like the term like OSR, and like originally it was like, oh, okay, we're bringing all this stuff back, but like anything beyond that, it's like it's just a muddied mix of stuff. So like, who knows what it, you know what I mean? Like there's no real hard definition. Like you said, it's just like, oh, if you make a game, slap like the OSR thing on there, and you'll get, you know, Roger will back it on Kickstarter. What, you know what I mean? You'll get a handful of people that'll be like, oh yeah, OSR, yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, I got
that's like and it's like the Borgs. You just put it in there and be like, cat Borg. There we go. I'm just looking around my room here. Lamp Borg. You know,
Office
just like,
Borg.
you just got to put compatible with Mork Borg. And
Roger, I'm going to have a whole crap ton of OSR compatible terrain at my booth.
Really?
You should come by.
That's awesome.
I'll have some OSR miniatures
you should have a sign, Mike. You should have a sign. All our terrain is fully compatible
OSR
with
compatible
5e and OSR. 5e and OSR. You should say that.
You've got a 3D printer. Get a sign for you and Stan set up that just says OSR certified. Doesn't mean anything. It's just OSR certified.
You'll be like, oh, this stuff's gotta be good.
It's anointed.
This has got to be good shit.
I'll have like three castles next to each other. This one's 5e. This one's
this is a 5e castle.
It's all the same castle.
This is the 5e version.
Yes,
the 5e version of the castle. This is the the 5e version of the castle has got to have wheelchair ramps, right?
No,
that's right. No ladders or steps.
The 5e one, I'm just going to paint it pink.
I remember thinking that, when somebody was bringing that up, I was like, what's there now? And they're like, oh yeah, there's magical wheelchairs. And I was like, magical nothing. I'm going to write a module that's a lot of ramps or it was a lot of stairs and just cliffs, sheer cliffs. So you're going to have to rope climb up.
There was
I don't know.
I don't remember where it was, if it was on Twitter or where it was. There was some thread about combat wheelchair nonsense. And I don't go on Twitter anymore just because I found out I was just there to try to stir the pot with everybody. So I was just like, all right, I give up on this. I don't need this. But every time people would bring up the combat wheelchair, I was like, okay, I got to post this. And it would be the picture. It would be a GIF from Big Trouble in Little China when he's in the wheelchair and he goes down the ramp and he's like, ah. I'm like, yeah, this is how it would work in a dungeon.
Yeah.
Here's your ramp right to the well.
Oh, man.
Where you're going to die.
The Diggerheart. I can't say that. He'll show up. He'll show up in the chat now.
Yeah, you only said it twice. Don't say it the third time.
Right.
It's like
oh my God. It's like Candyman, yeah.
Candyman, yeah, don't say it 3 times.
I want him to show up in the chat so I can invite him to CNY.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just so
it's a short trip from Halifax or whatever. You'll be right there.
Shows up and him and Double D get into a fight.
Nerd fisticuffs.
Think about how many people come next year.
Do some barefisted boxing.
How many tickets now?
Center of the floor.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was gonna say now that what was that charity boxing event for YouTube streamers is done, we just have that and it'd just be like, we'd have our ladies with the big certified OSR signs because it would just be OSR certified nerds OSR, punching each other. There we go. Yep. We're solving this in the cage.
Oh my God, Paul, I'm gonna make a stamp. That's a certified
OSR. Do it. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
OSR.
Stamp it on everything.
I'm writing it down.
Nice.
Certified OSR stamp. I'm doing it. I'm going to find like one of those certified beef label, the logo like that, the round like that stamp. I'm going to find that and then put the OSR in there.
Nice.
And do that. I'm going to have that stamp made up. We'll do a nice red. What do you think? Red or blue?
Yeah, Dan's right. We need a t-shirt. It says certified
t-shirt. This is certified OSR. Yeah, maybe Death Angel. I don't know. Maybe. So guys, everybody, please like, share, subscribe to everybody's streams. I've got a channel, obviously. Mike's got a channel. Stan's got a channel. Even Paul's got a channel. He actually advertises. It's in his name. I don't know what he does on his channel, but probably talks about RPG stuff. I don't know.
Pretty much.
Maybe he's doing some woodworking. Like
I should do that.
We got to get Jason to do.
I'll have a weekly show where I constantly injure my hands. I'm like, oh, if only somebody that was better at this could come and help me with these carpentry projects.
Oh man. He won't do it. He won't do it. I think it'd be awesome, but I don't know. I'd like to do someday. We're going to build a table up here at Game Table, and I'd love to film it or live stream it, and put the chat up on the TV or something while we're working, and just let it go. Yeah, Carpentry Crusades. Yeah,
I subbed Paul. I'm all in for your 3 videos.
Woo! Yeah, It started off slow. It started off with the Shadow and Sons was like, let's do everybody's top 10 RPGs, and I was like, you know what? That's actually a good idea because it forces you to boil it down and think.
Hey, so, I got more on mine.
So there you go.
They're all
they're all mine.
They're all restreams.
Yeah, I was gonna say
No, it's awesome. So
it's funny because I have another YouTube channel that's loaded up with like arcade stuff and video games clips and all kinds of stuff. But
sure,
my Thunderstruck account has nothing on it.
Yeah,
I'll have to count. Has climbed a little bit, Roger.
What's that?
Your subscriber count has climbed.
What do we have? Did we hit 200?
Oh my god!
Not yet.
We're playing ponies yet, or no?
Getting there.
No.
They had to hit it within 2 weeks.
Oh really?
Yeah. That was the pact. Yeah, we are not playing any. What is that? Equestria.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let me see here.
Paul, I wanted to point something out.
Yeah, what's up?
When you were talking about that, the Dark Space book and how small it is for $75.
Yep.
This thing cost me $38 to print.
Yeah, isn't it? And it's probably
500. It's 508 pages.
Yeah. That's the other thing you got to watch out for now. A lot of people are just like, I'm just gonna fire hose out this Shadow Dark stuff because that's the hotness and try to make some money. And you're like, unless your name is Chubby Funster, you're probably not putting as much work into it that people think you are. So
yeah, and I know he's putting like a lot of work into his stuff, and I've seen a lot of stuff out there. Maybe I've bought some of it. That's not that great. Like, and it advertises as being, but I don't. I mean, there's definitely a line with that stuff, right? Like the Shadow Dark stuff, you don't want it to be too much. Like if it's too much, like, but also there's a line of like the other way of like, okay, you can't do anything with this. This is just like class modifications or whatever. And, like there's no, if you don't put a setting in or at least, some implied stuff, like, I don't know, people don't want to, it's not worth it anymore,
Well, that's why, Greg was bringing up, he was putting in the caravan rules and all that other stuff into his Dark Sun reworking.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, just make, you got to put Shadow Dark on it because it's going to sell. But honestly, like, I think it was, who was it? It was Full Metal Dragon was in the chat. I think maybe it was on Bear's channel, and they were just saying, wouldn't it be great to just have Dark Sun with its own system? And I was like, oh my God, that would be awesome. Because it's like, just get away from D&D. You're not dungeon delving, you're surviving on this post magic apocalypse wasteland, and it'd just be cool.
Right.
I like the caravan idea. I like just going around doing stuff like that. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, and I trust Chubby to do it. I mean, I think he's and I mean, I don't think it's a terrible thing to be tied to Shadow Dark, but yeah, I mean, definitely its own system with its own kind of rules for that stuff, I think would be the best.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Focusing on psionics, because that was the big thing in Dark Sun. But the problem was D&D players just like had like 90% of them had just a like allergic reaction to psionics. They hated it. Right. They're Jedi. Right. It's like there's very low magic. There's a lot of psionics, and you focus on that and make it interesting, because psionics, along with the bards for AD&D, were tacked on at the end. You could feel it.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
just,
absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah. So
absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting, to see some of that, stuff in it that doesn't get, proper treatment or whatever. I mean, I'm glad that Chubby's doing something with it.
Right.
I mean, Wizards, I don't know if they're ever gonna,
If
do
they
it.
do, they'll
I
ruin
know
it.
I know there's another group. There's a group out there that have been doing it in 5e. I keep seeing it advertised. They've been running something for like years now online.
We're gonna our game master that was running Ravenloft, we're switching to Dark Sun when his turn comes up again. So we're gonna play second edition Dark Sun. Yeah, which is awesome.
He's writing second edition. That's cool.
He's a big fan of strong settings, huh? That's what it seems like.
Yeah,
yeah.
We talked about it. We finished the Ravenloft adventure, and he's like, "Do you guys want to do something different?" And we were like, "We can do anything. Like we'll stick with Ravenloft." He's and he's like, then he threw out Dark Sun, and I've always wanted to play it. I've collected this stuff. I've never played it, and I'm like, "Oh fuck yeah, we're playing Dark Sun," and I'm going to be a half giant because I.
Well, if you really want to do something different.
Oh, there you go.
That's the one. There it is.
Got it. He's got the PDF.
Yeah, he's got probably a handful of those books in his collection.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
Core rule book.
No,
Welcome to
nobody gets just the PDF.
Oh boy.
Nobody gets just the PDF.
Yeah, right. 338 pages for the. Oh no, the Essence system. Good luck. That's the same one they did G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Yes.
That is.
It's a D20 system. Ish.
Yeah.
I don't think it's awful. I mean, I think they could have done a lot worse.
It looks like a Smurf died on that page.
Roger, I got something we could play.
Oh, Mike's got one too. Here we go. Let's see what's Mike's got. There you go.
Is it the Wendy's one? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I would rather play that.
Let's play some Feast of Legends.
Yeah,
I heard people. I'm not sure if they were trying to be ironic, but they were like, "You guys, this was actually really good." And it's
the realm of Beef's Keep, Top Bun Mountains, Lake John Silver. Come on. I can't even take that seriously.
I think I got the
PDF.
I don't think
you're supposed to.
Back when nerds had like a thing for it. I think it was like some 5e D&D stuff for it, where it was like if you send in the code for buying nerds to eat them the candies, you can.
Now
get
I would have liked to have gotten the Wendy's dice, just to say I had them.
What the hell?
Arby's dice. Oh god,
that's awesome. The Arby's Twitter for the longest time, man. One of the tweets they had, I tried looking for it. It was awesome. You could tell like this guy was a gamer who knew his stuff because it was he had an Orc war truck from 40K, and it was a GIF of it moving across the screen, and it was filled with curly fries. And they had a caption. They're like, "I better not drop any." And it was like, wow, that's a deep cut from back in the day where the Orc trucks didn't have a limit on them. You could put as many miniatures as you wanted into them, but any that fell while you moved it were dead instantly because they fell out of a moving truck. So I was like,
that's awesome.
Wow, that is they definitely have a gamer in there running their Twitter.
Arby's had dice. They keep selling out because nerds are ridiculous.
Because Roger buys them all.
I only bought the one set. They're pretty cool set. I mean, it's they're metal.
I would buy them just because they're neat. They're fun.
So yeah, they're neat. I mean, it's just cool to like pull out at the table and just use them. And and then you roll an Arby's symbol and people are like, "Is that an Arby's symbol?" Like what? Like it's fine.
It's all right. Don't worry about it.
So, I was going to say non-combat RPGs. I'm not sure how combat resolution works in Amber, but I'm pretty sure Roger's got that on the shelf somewhere. So.
Oof, I don't.
You don't have Amber?
I don't. I didn't like it.
I think that might. Well, yeah. I mean, I figured.
I did. Yeah. It was just weird. I don't know.
What did we come up with? What did we come up that doesn't have combat? Dallas.
Dallas.
That was it. That was the only one.
The culmination of the past 3 hours.
I don't know though, because like a dude got shot on Dallas, so there's got to be.
Dude got shot in Dallas.
No,
not Dallas.
It was a dream.
Oh, the whole thing was a
He's a
dream.
really good shot at the dream.
If we have combat in a dream, does it count as if it's? Oh boy. I don't know. I mean, combat's like the main thing. I mean, I don't think there's any mainstream. I know I keep saying mainstream, right? And when I say mainstream, like I get that, like even Shadow Dark probably isn't considered mainstream. I mean, you know.
No. Well, you got to think of it this way.
But I'm talking about the major things that even like the people have heard of and stuff, and not just
think of it like this. Thing. No matter how hard you try, you go to play a role-playing game and you are playing another character in a simulated world. There's going to be conflict, and there has to be a conflict resolution.
Why does there have to be conflict though? Why can't physical conflict?
Because that's how the world works. I mean,
not every day. I don't go out and get into a fight with somebody every day.
There's conflict out in that world every day, Roger.
Go to your local Walmart, you will.
Yeah. No, I understand that, but why does role playing have to be about combat then?
What else? Why do we? What? So let me ask
you. World building.
You got to have a lot of buy-in from your group of players.
Yeah.
Why do you have to have a buy-in for that? Just because you don't want people to punch other people in the face?
So you're a DM.
Like, I mean,
you're a DM. You spend 4 weeks making your map of your new world. You throw it out on your table.
Adventure.
You spend 4 weeks making your new world map, right? You're all proud of it. You get it printed. You throw it down on your table. Your players go, ooh, ah, who gives a shit? That's basically what it comes down to. They don't care about your world building.
Sure.
They just want to know when they're going to get to roll dice and kill things.
They want to kill the goblins.
Wake me up for initiative, right? That's all they want.
That is also player specific because my players react very differently to that.
And that's why curating your table. I always tell people, like, whenever they ask for GM advice, I'm like, curate your table. What do you like to run? Find players that like to play that. Anybody who doesn't like to play that, you don't have to shun them or hate them. Just don't have them at your table.
Right.
Suggest
I think if I put the list of things together that I want to run in the game that I want to run and showed that list of people, no one would show up.
I think Stan, I do think that if your table is filled with gamers that have as much buy-in as you, it's a unicorn, and do not let go, because that is not the norm.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I
agree.
Yeah,
I'm pretty lucky.
Listen, I'm
really lucky.
I'm very encouraged with all the drama I've had with these players over the last couple of years that they're so excited about Delta Green and Call of Cthulhu.
That's great. That's awesome.
If that's cool. And I enjoy the setting, I enjoy the rules. I had fun running it. So if that's their buy-in and that's what's going to get them excited, that's what we'll play.
I just want to note that I gave Shadow and Son a free badge for CNY to give away on his stream. Yep. And Off Grid Gamer won that badge, and he is coming to CNY.
Nice.
Rock and roll. Nice.
Awesome.
Nice. Yep. Off Grid Gamer, I will have a full selection of OSR compatible terrain.
Yep. I have OSR compatible miniatures.
But if you don't play OSR games, I'll have all other stuff too. Compatible with anything.
Compatible with anything. Stan, you got to talk to Joe Block about miniatures and gaming and stuff. I talked to him last year at CNY, and his game is strictly 25 millimeter. And I was like,
"Oh, that miniatures game that he's working."
I was like, Joe, you can use 28 millimeter. It's close enough. No,
I like Joe, but he's a bit of a snob about his minis.
Can't do it. It's like 25. Only 25 millimeter.
And I'm gonna guess all of his minis are metal.
And I'm like, I'm like, why can't you say this guy is just like 8 inches taller? Like,
it's the mountain.
It's like, no, it's not the right scale. Like, okay. Like, that's the hill. Like, if that's the hill he wants to die on, like, great. Like, that's more power to you.
I wonder where he sources 25 millimeter metal.
You can talk to him.
At page 1.
Oh yeah, Death Angel won a gift certificate from Emperor's Choice.
Nice.
At page 1, Joe had minis at his booth, but I don't think.
Yeah, he did it. the first ShireCon I went to, he sold miniatures at his booth.
Yeah, I don't think
I bought some. They were great.
I don't know if they were big sellers because he stopped carrying them.
Yeah, I was bummed because they were really cool. Like I bought this freaking badass Minotaur. I got a couple I haven't painted yet, but they were nice. I looked for him at CNY because he wasn't at the last ShireCon I was at, but I looked at him at CNY and he didn't have them.
Without going around and counting them, but just like between the cabinet and boxes here, and I have a whole drawer system in my storage thing filled with minis. I've probably got 1,000 minis unpainted.
Oh,
that's a big pile of shame.
I easily have.
Well, it's a problem when you own these printers. You can just keep expanding your pile of shame.
Yeah.
Are they all OSR compatible or?
They are all OSR compatible.
Yeah.
If they're not, I just make them OSR compatible.
So there you go.
I think combat's just the easiest challenge to come up with, especially if you're running it on a weekly and GM's like, I haven't had time, I had a lot of work. Okay, well, D&D itself has 3 monster manuals, and there are companies who are just like, here's Creature Codex 15, and you're like, oh boy, and just have them loaded on the shelf. And we haven't fought this yet. Here we go.
For sure. I mean, it's an easy, like Paul's, you're spot on. Like, I mean, I know there's times like I've done that. Like, I need something, and as long as it makes sense, I'll throw it in there. But so it can be a good filler. I mean, it's an exciting part of the game for most players. It's an exciting part of the game.
And then that's part of the buy-in too. Like when you're, when you sign up, when you read the 10 of here's what's the game is about, like, you expect there to be, combat and stuff. Like I wouldn't want to pull a switcheroo on people. I've heard of people doing that, inviting people over for, Dungeons and Dragons, and then like, with the exception of people show up with their 5 ebooks and all of that, and then he pulls out basic fantasy or whatever, and it's people have done that. Like I've never done a bait and switch, like that. I mean, I've told people ahead of time this is what I want to run, and but it's interesting. So I don't know. I don't know. Death Angel says if he finds combat boring. Yeah, and I mean that was like part of the thing of like I was thinking about this. It was going on. The thing in my head sometimes spins, the hamster or whatever. He keeps running, and sometimes keeps me up late at night. But and I was just thinking like why is it always about conflict, like physical conflict, like all the time? And I get that we come from war gamers, right? Like that's where all this stuff does kind of come from. But even back then, like you look at David Wesleyan running his Brownsteins, like they were like a prelude to a war or whatever, a war game that was going to get played that never did. But like they were more about economic building than they were about actual fighting and all that stuff. And I mean there were like duels and things like that had happened, but they weren't, they could have happened without all that. And so I don't know, it just seems like you could run a game that's like that, but all these games are all designed, they all have fighting things on there. Like I just wonder what a game would look like if it didn't have weapons, like a weapon list, or whatever. I don't know. Just interesting. Yeah, Death Angel. Maybe it's because nerds want the opportunity to know what it's like to win a fight.
Yeah,
could be.
Yeah, they didn't back when they were in the in the late 70s or mid 70s when they got D&D rolling. They didn't have the benefit of having jiu-jitsu gyms on every corner, pretty much. So
right.
Nerds these days can be a dangerous bunch. So
there's a shitload of guys at my gym that play games. Like I've played games with them.
Yeah, it was just an interesting topic to talk about. But maybe that's something interesting to do in the future, like to try it, try and run a game without any combat. I mean, I'm sure we've all had sessions like that, but
I had one Sunday.
But can you do like an entire story arc, You know, like, could you go like 4 or 5 sessions or whatever? Like, could you, can you run
I've never
that?
done that.
Would the players like be okay with that, or would they be like, "What's going on here? We haven't stabbed any orcs this, in the past month. Like, what are we doing?"
I think that kind of depends too. Like, I can't imagine, like, with not even my group now, but my other group, the guys that are big AD&D guys. I can't imagine playing multiple sessions without combat. There's some of those guys are just going to get bored with it. Even, it's like no matter how good your story is, there's some guys that don't care. They just want combat. Whatever
they just want to roll dice.
Now I could say that, like, my guys this week flat out told me they loved it so much because it was all story. They got to really role play. It was much more relatable for them. Because we can all say that we relate to, like, D&D, and I guess to a degree we do, but we base our knowledge off of movies and books and whatever else.
Sure.
You play a game like Call of Cthulhu, which of course you're going back in time, but or you play Delta Green, you could base a lot of your decisions just based off what you know of the real world.
Sure.
So they were able to role play it, and they really enjoyed that. I could see playing those games as long as the story's compelling and keeps them interested. I could see going sessions and sessions without combat.
Yeah. I don't know. It might be interesting to try that. With the group. I don't know.
Try Shadowdark without combat. Let me know how fun it is.
Yeah. Oh, well, I was contemplating that. Like, I wonder if, like, what if we made it fun and said, like, told the players, like, they would get double XP from the treasure if they did it, if they, successfully retrieved it without, combat, or something like that. Like, I mean, right. Cause that's how D&D works, right? Like you give XP for what you want the players to do. Right. Yeah. So, like, if you give XP and advancement for exploration and things like that, then people are going to want to do that, so that's what Death Agency is doing that now. He gives more XP for non-combat, solutions. So, yeah, I mean, maybe that's the way to do it, right? Because, like, in Shadowdark, like in D&D, obviously it's more advantageous to kill all the monsters because then you get the XP for the monsters and their treasure. Right. Whereas with Shadowdark, it's kind of like it doesn't matter, right? Because you can kill all the monsters or not, and you still get the same amount of XP because it's treasure based.
Yeah.
But if you give an advantage to doing it without killing things, I wonder if that'll help.
So I'm not a big proponent of it at all, but when I did run 5e, we ended up going fully milestone because it was more like a modified milestone. It wasn't like hitting specific story points got it. It was more not exactly story points, but there was just more objectives that I had laid out. If they achieved these, they would get, experience. And it was more, it wasn't fully milestone. I would track it behind the scenes, maybe check boxes or whatever. Once they accomplished this, they'd get a level. I leveled them very slowly, and they were perfectly fine with it, not ever knowing what their experience was or when they were going to level, because they were more focused on the story.
Yeah.
The minute you give an experience point value, and they know how much they're going to get for treasure, and they know how much they need to level, it becomes a focused goal to hit that. There's
sure
people get very preoccupied with how do I get to the next level, even if they understand that, oh, we're going to level pretty fast, and we get to a certain point, it's going to be pointless. They're still going to do it. They're still going to race through it if they have the option.
We got to talk to Ken on stream again about this, but he does this thing with some of his games where he lets the players level up whenever they want to, which to me sounds like it sounds absolutely ludicrous. And I only say that because, I mean, if you're playing with the right group, I can see it working. But like I have like there's people that I play with now that
Right.
would just be like, oh, I'm level 80, like whatever. Like, dude, we're first level. Like, we're going to kill kobolds. And he's like, I just want to stomp all over them. And like,
cool.
Like, but like that game gets old in 10 minutes,
Sure. Well, that guy can go play Diablo by himself.
Yeah,
right. Get all that he wants.
Right.
Why does he need a group to do it? Right. I think that's the thing. Ken's. I remember when he first mentioned that, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's a test of maturity. That's what it is. You're
sure.
waiting to see, like, if you realize and you have in your head that my character has goals, and then you can say, okay, I think my character achieved these goals. I'm going to level up now. Or you could be the guy who's just like, oh, I want to be God because because I just need that in my life. You're like,
yeah,
all right. Do you need to do that here, or could you go and do that elsewhere? Again, it's one of those table curation things where it's like, if you got a guy in your group that's like that, and you're like,
yeah,
I know you want to entertain your friends, but sometimes it's like, hey, maybe hang out on another night, when we could play cards or something instead.
Well, you have
it's hard. It's rough. Yeah,
you have to wonder at that point if that isn't the guy that rolls his dice and then picks it up real quick and go, oh yeah, I got an 18.
Oh, those guys.
We got rid of that guy. of that guy.
I got one of my buddies. I called him the rules public defender because we'd have guys who'd look through stacks of books, fudge die rolls or whatever, and I'd be like, "Hey, look, I've got a nice, comfy chair here, right for my buddy Jerry." And Jerry would sit next to him, watch every roll, consult the books. He would know the system we're playing. And if we ever had a guy who was like that, I'd be like, "Hey, look, man, if you got to cheat, you got to go. That's just the way it goes.
Yep.
Simple as. Like, this is a game about imagination. We're not here to win."
Yeah,
there's none of that nonsense.
That guy that played my 2E campaign that picked the Sylvan Elf with the soldier kit, he was one of those guys that cheated his dice. And one of my buddies sat right next to him, and after the game was like, "Listen, man," he goes, "I watched every one of his rolls. He'd roll it, and it didn't matter what he got. Then he'd pick it up and be like, "Oh, I pretending he can't see, and like, oh yeah, I got an 18. Okay, sure you did, John.
Yeah. The guy that was doing it in mine had the he would purposely use like the worst dice ever. He had like the hollow metal dice, the stringy ones, so that, I mean, because no one can read those anyway, like you got to be at the right angle, and he would roll it in his dice tower, his dice tray, and like, so nobody could see it. He have his book like sitting there, what I mean, open like a GM screen almost, but open to the page where he needed to, conveniently.
Yeah.
And he'd drop his dice in there and then pick it up and be like, "Oh, I rolled a 28." I was like, dude, you got like a +4 to hit. What do you mean you got a 28? Like,
my DCC set had a D24. I rolled it on accident. I'm sorry.
He would look at his dice and he would use Thacko as the excuse. He'd be like, "Oh," we were like, "John, what'd you roll? Hang on, I'm trying to figure out my Thacko. Just tell me what you rolled. How about that? Because I can figure it out in my head in a split second." So,
All right, John, I've made a dice roller coaster. You get to pour the dice, and they're going to deposit right in front of me.
Right,
and I'll tell you what you rolled.
I hate the fact that I have a table of 50-year-old guys, and I had to tell people that, like, okay, from now on, I go, first of all, high contrast dice only. We got to all be able to see it. You roll it on the table, we want to be able to see what the number says, and you're going to roll them all in the open because some guys can't just, I'm like, why are you cheating? It's a cooperative game with friends.
Yeah. But I want to be the best friend that's winning.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, dude. Did you back that Kickstarter, Roger? The Just Dice?
Yes, I believe I did.
Of course
that was the one you sent me because they look cool. Yeah. No, they're purposefully making dice that you can read at like 10 feet away on the table.
Yeah.
Where's the link?
Colorblind accessible. Like, they're nice and sharp with even sides. It's legibility, simplicity, quality. I was like, perfect. I'll buy. I think I put myself down for maybe 4 sets or whatever because I was like, there's a bunch of colors that are really cool.
That's why I use these. I like these Vortex dice.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, very easily readable.
Yeah.
And they are blacklight sensitive. So they glow.
Yeah.
Nice.
No hiding it.
Where's the link, Roger?
I'm working on it. I'm gonna put it in the chat there. We're getting it. Okay. I'll put it in there so you can click on it.
Thank you.
There you go. Does anybody want to play Hyperborea on Wednesday nights with Dan and Off Grid Gamer?
Oh, well, there you go. It's a good game.
It is. It's a fantastic game. Fantastic game. I had a great story about Hyperborea. This is a Jason story. It's a Jason story from Gary Con. We played with this guy Adam, who was he ended up coming to CNY. It was pretty cool. He's from out west. Anyway, we sit down and play Hyperborea, and Jason, of course, grabs the archer player, the ranger type. I forget what class, if it was actual ranger or whatever. And so we're going across these like frost plains. And I was just like a fighter, and so I'm going across like the frost plains, and there's these frost giants that are there. So I like run up and start swinging on them or whatever, and we get around to Jason's turn, and I'm like, "Dude, plant your arrows," and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Dude, we're on snow. Stick your arrows in the ground, and you get up shooting speed. So you go from like whatever, because he's already got proficiency, so he's at like 3-2, so he'll go from 3-2 to 2-1 if he plants them." So I'm like, "Yeah, you'll get an extra attack." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "You just stick the arrows in the ground, dude, and you can fire faster." He's like, "How does that make me fire faster?" He's like, "It's faster coming from the thing." And I go, "Dude, it's a rule in the book. Just do it." Like, just look at the DM and say, "I plant my arrows." And he's like, "I guess I plant my arrows in the ground." He's like upset about it because, like, realistically, it's easier to pull the arrow from the thing in his back than it is to pick it up off the ground and put it in the bow. But I'm like, just do it. It's so yeah, that was fun. So YouTube time, what is it? Wednesdays? Okay, yeah.
Oh, so Dan's running it. Okay, so they're trying
to
beef up the party. No, I get it. Yeah, I was playing it with Bloodworth and a Hyperborea, and it was as Bloodworth games go. We had like 4 guys at character creation, 3 people showed up for the first game, and then it was down to me and another guy, and then it fell off. And I was like, "That's online games. That's how it goes."
Yeah, it's like every online game ever. Yeah, this is how it goes. Everybody, and then the scheduling conflicts all of a sudden, and like people, it's like, come on, guys, really?
I don't get it, because DM Samuel runs online games, and he's been running Arden Vol in OSC now, and his players are like 9th level now, and he's like, "Yeah, everybody shows up every week. We haven't lost a player,
I mean, I guess once you get a decent group, right? Or does he know the group, or like are they?
No, because he's got nobody local to him that he plays with, so he just plays online stuff.
Yeah. Huh.
It's funny because him and I talk constantly. We got our own little private Discord chat. We chat every day, and so whatever games, like, we're both bad influences on each other. We get into a game, and then the other one starts getting into it. So when I started looking back into Delta Green and Call of Cthulhu, he looked into Call of Cthulhu, bought a whole bunch of stuff. So now he's prepping Call of Cthulhu while I'm running Delta Green. And he's like, "I'm going to run a one-shot of Call of Cthulhu to get back into it. You want to play?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let me know when." I don't do online games, but I'll jump in his game to play a one-shot just to get a feel for it. Because he's run them before. So it'd be nice to actually play in somebody's game that has run it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Sure.
Cool. The nice part is his wife's family lives about 20 minutes from me. They come up here all the time, and he keeps talking, "Oh, we're going to retire up there. We're going to retire up there." I'm like, "Well, you need to retire soon and get up here because I need some better players."
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I keep asking Stan if like 5 acres within walking distance of his house goes up for sale. Let me know.
Yeah, just build a compound.
I'm going to build a compound, buy a farmhouse with some land. Yeah, whatever. Bring some cargo containers up there and just weld them together.
We got raided by the ATF, but they only found like nerd shit up here. Yeah, it's a whole lot of frozen pizzas and a lot of D&D books.
It really sounds great, but I enjoy keeping my pension, so I'm going to stay here in New York.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And maybe things will be different for me when once I start getting my pension.
Yeah,
but we'll see. I think our viewer count jumps up every time a cat gets on screen.
Oh, really? Yeah. They're like, we heard there was a kitty. It's interesting though. Yeah, they're talking about Bloodworth. Bloodworth isn't at 7 p.m. Well, we'll see because he actually streamed this past Sunday at like what was it? It was like
3:30.
Yeah, it was 3:30 East Coast.
Really?
Yeah, bizarre. Yeah, because he looked at the analytics. He was reading all that, and he was like, "I'm gonna try this out." Right. And I was like, "Okay, yeah, why not?"
Yeah. I picked Tuesday nights to do the stream because that was open at the time. Mm-hmm. Like nobody else was doing stuff, and then even now and again, like other people are doing stuff. Somebody's starting something at 9, I think, today, or somebody started at 9. I don't know who. I don't remember who, but I remember seeing something.
Better be careful. Our 7 viewers might go find somewhere else to go.
Yeah, I know. I know, right? They're looking.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably you're almost at 200. You're getting there.
We're 200. We're gonna do a giveaway or something at 500. I don't know what I'm gonna give away yet, but I'm gonna give away something.
There you go. I'm sure you could look on the shelf and find a book you haven't read.
If we get
20 years.
Oh my God, yeah, I can definitely find some stuff.
Roger's not giving up books.
Yes, my treasures. No,
I will. I've given stuff up. I'm gonna put some stuff in the auction.
My
at CNY. I'll put some stuff in the auction. Yeah. Oh, congrats, Death Angel.
There you go.
I thought I was going to hit 200 today. I think I was at like 196 this morning when I looked. So
it's weird how I think I'm at 429 or something.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Definitely, though, that collaboration thing helps kind of cross-pollinate.
I do that a lot with Bloodworth. He's really helped me out with that.
Yeah.
So I do that with him.
I got to do that. I just you got to do it for like every video. You got to go in the thing and change it and hit the collab thing. And I'm lazy. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I don't know. I just got to get used to doing it.
I was laughing at because you're using the same thing. Was it DM James is using it? There's like an AI thing that will take clips from your live shows and put it in so you could do shorts. And there was a few that I show up in, and it's just like me picking my teeth, and I'm like, why did the AI focus on that? It makes me look like a weirdo, Yeah.
I used to go through them or try and go through them and edit them.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, yeah, these are good. I'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have my daughter start doing it. I think I'm gonna have her go through it and start doing the clips and tagging things and all of that. So
you know what's funny about YouTube though? Like we can all run these gaming related YouTube channels, but if I just turn my YouTube channel into my dog, I'd have.
Oh my God, you have 1 million views.
Yeah, I'd have subscribers out the ass and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
I was going to make a TikTok channel with my dog just because. Give me something to do.
My cats usually wind up in my recap videos because they have to be. If I do them upstairs, they're always like, "Oh, what is he doing?" It's a perfect time for me to walk across the table. Yeah.
You
I gotta remember to tell people that because in Bears chat, there's a lot of women that love all the cats and stuff. I could be like, all right, you gotta look at go to Troll Den Painting. He's doing an unboxing. I swear to God, they'll be everywhere. They'll be falling off the ceiling. Yeah,
there'll be cats there.
Yeah.
I don't know where those two little savages are right now. They're not in here.
You won't see cats in my videos. I have 2 cats, but they live upstairs.
Oh, there you go.
I'm downstairs. They don't come down here, so.
Usually my CNC recaps I do in the basement because that's where we play. But the last one we actually did up here because there's only a couple players. So.
My daughter comes home from school Thursday, and I'm looking forward to her coming home, but she's got her cat with her at school. And my 2 cats, for some reason, all of a sudden now, when she comes home with that cat, they don't like each other.
Yep.
And the one that's here, the big fat rescue we have, Absolutely loves my pit bull now. Best friends. Dog comes barreling straight at her, and he just stands right there, purrs, rubs his face against her. They're all like best friends. This other cat comes around. He is like hissing at us, hissing at the cat, hissing at us, hissing at everybody, shitting on the floor because he's mad. I'm like, dude, I can't take this anymore. Told my daughter, I said, when you come home, your cat's going to stay in your room at night. I'm not going to have this cat out here all pissed off, come out in the morning, and he decided to frickin' drop a turd outside my bedroom door because he's pissed off.
You could do your TikTok like a nature documentary, you'd be like, and now that school has ended, the war for territory shall begin.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. We had a cat that was we got a newer cat that doesn't like an older cat, and so she would keep her like from using the litter box and stuff, and that was like a challenge. So we ended up now we've got a bell collar on the the new cat, so like the other one can like hear her coming, and it's so ridiculous the stuff, but yeah, so dumb. Well, we're at 3 hours and 45 minutes, guys. What anything else to add about non-combat in games? We got anything else that we didn't cover?
I don't know, but are there any cat and dog RPGs we can talk about?
Sure.
Yeah, they all have combat in them.
Yeah, let's say Pugmire. I'm sure you're fighting like you're playing as knights, dog knights, or whatever like that.
Yep.
There's that one that I always see called Heckin' Good Doggos. So close to that 4 hours from now. Almost
stuff.
I guess we probably should have talked about like what kind of homebrew stuff did we come up with? Because most RPG games, they're like non-combat rules. What do you mean? So you have to kind of come up with like you said with Frank Menstner. I'm pretty sure that 2D6 system is just like he was like, I'm done with all the different versions. I'm just do this. It's nice and easy. My brain can grok this. That's it.
That's it. But you can easily use like the charts, the like the morale charts or whatever, the 2D6. Like you could change that to anything.
Yeah, but you would think that a guy that wrote some of those versions.
Well, that's the thing. He probably realized, like when you write them, it's not really what you use because you're trying to sell books. So, like you think of Mongoose back in the early 2000s when third ed craze was going, and they're like, "All right, we just need a book that has the most powerful prestige class published, and we're going to sell like gangbusters until we make the next book that does it." Yeah. And they did that for like a decade.
So that's why I always laugh at guys that are like, "Well, I'm playing it the way Gary intended." Yeah, you're not. You're playing it the way Gary was selling books, but that's not how Gary played it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like 2D6 has like a nice curve to it. It's not linear or whatever. So I mean, I think that's why, and that's what they used to use back in the day. Before there was all these other funky dice. Sure. So, I mean, I think
it's easy to get a hold of. Yeah, if you've played Monopoly, you know what it's like. It's. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. It's easy. 2D6, boom, you can add those together easy. Everything. It's just it's fantastic.
That's why I like Powered by the Apocalypse stuff. 2D6, very simple. But,
we're done.
No, I don't know about any of that stuff. Characters with motivation and all that. Give me combat.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I didn't hate. I didn't absolutely hate Powered by the Apocalypse. I don't know. I think. This is a longer discussion that we'll have another time. I think this is one of those systems where I had a bad time with the GM.
Oh,
the GM was really bad. And
which game were you playing?
We did Dungeon World.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Stan, maybe you should run Call of Cthulhu at CNY Con since there isn't one.
Yeah, there you go. And I've played in Monster of the Week games. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think it was that bad.
No.
Just played it.
But yeah, Dungeon World was a GM, and like every game that I've played with that GM has had similar kind of issues. And then it's interesting because I've had people come up to me now who have gone and played with him And I've been thanked by more than a couple people that have said, thanks for not having a loading screen. and this guy kind of does. Like, he just can't. He can't do anything on the fly.
Oh, he doesn't have improv skills? Yeah.
I don't know.
It's number one skill is a game.
Yeah. That's like if you had to name like things you could name on one hand, improv is like the number one for GM.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I mean, like, I took improv classes, but I dropped out because I couldn't do it. It wasn't the improv thing. Mm-hmm. It was doing it in front of people. It's so weird. Like, I can do it in front of a table of nerds.
Right.
But like doing it like on stage in front of like normies, I don't know. I just can't do it.
I don't know. Stan might be able to attest to this. For me, working 25 years in the prison system and having to deal with all those inmates, and you just got to, be very vocal with people. And I'm sure with the public, it's the same way. You just get used to it. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't bother me in the least bit.
Yeah.
My buddy Ed, that's in the group, he struggles with it, and he was a sergeant, and he was in as long as I was, but he struggles with that, and he's like, well, we talked about role playing at the table. He's like, well, sometimes it's uncomfortable to. I'm like, dude, you're sitting at the table with 4 friends.
Mm-hmm.
I go, you sit there when I'm DMing, and I don't always do it, but sometimes I'll do stupid voices and I'll get into character and do all that shit.
Sure.
I'm like, I don't give a shit what you think.
Right.
It's not like anybody there's making fun of you. Everybody's still into the game, and they
Right.
Yeah.
Some people it might immerse them more. I've seen Ed when other people have tried to role play, he like rolled his eyes and everything else. He's embracing it all of a sudden. He's loving this. He's the one texting me like, this game is so much fun. I like it. And I'm like,
wow,
that's weird because it's like a heavy role play game, but he's really getting into it.
Good.
That's cool though. That's cool.
Yeah.
He kind of opened his shell up a little bit, but
it's the benefits of switching systems.
But he said he said to me, he goes, I'm not good at it. I've never been good at public speaking. I'm like, I don't think a role playing game table is really considered public speaking.
Yeah.
It's not like getting up in front of a crowd. It's just a bunch of friends. Yeah. We've all got a beer crack sitting on the table. We got food waiting for us. We're just sitting here having a good time on Sunday.
Yeah.
Be as stupid as you want. If we laugh, we're laughing with you, not at you. Or if we're laughing at you, it's because you did something fucking funny. It's not like we're not laughing at you to be mean. We're laughing because you did something,
Sure.
Right. You made us laugh.
Yeah.
That's fun too. It's part of it.
Right. That's a good time. So, yeah, I mean, on that note, we're close to 4 hours here. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Paul, you mentioned like what house rules or whatever, things like that. I don't know, home rules. Like I don't know. Like I think I want to try the XP thing, giving more XP for non-combat stuff, and see if that starts to steer the game towards doing that stuff. Not that I want a game that's all not combat, you know what I mean, but just to see if it's possible to do it,
Right.
Like I wonder how long that would last.
Right. Yeah. And well, that's the thing with the fighter having things like Ben bars, lift gates, and other skills. He doesn't have to just keep fighting. It could just be where it's like, there's a lone sentry. It's not really a combat. If like me and the rogue, or if you have an assassin, whichever edition you're playing, can go and take him out before he sets off the alarm, then that, works towards us getting through this without, losing our XP bonus or whatever. But
yeah, right. Sure. No, I think that'd be interesting. So, I don't know, but I think I'm going to try it and see what happens.
I mean, it seems like that's how it works. I didn't know. I heard all the talk about Arduin and stuff just because product was coming out, and that's really kind of what the talk was about. But from what I understand, Hargraves was like the first one who added XP for exploration, and I was like, I was born in the wrong decade. That's my kind of game.
Yeah.
Apparently, instead of combat and all that, it would be exploring the world that you're in, which is what I do naturally. So
I think Dave did a lot of that cool stuff with Arduin, Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what they come up with because they're doing their system, Arduin, Bloody Arduin.
Right.
I think they're doing play tests of a simplified version of it. I think it's CNY, so we'll see.
Okay.
But so it could be interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited to give it a go. Next week we got Brian Shutter coming on. We're going to talk about some Gonzo post-apocalyptic games. So
very colorful stuff.
He did. He did Neon Lords of the Waste,
Toxic Wasteland.
Yeah, cool stuff. So, so he's nearby. He's like an hour from me. So,
oh wow, there you go.
That's
I run into him. He always has a booth over at Gamehole Con, and 1 year him and his partner that run the company for that were doing that. It was almost like a rollerball type miniatures game.
Rollerblade or a cool derby type of thing. I forget what he calls it. Yeah. Awesome. He's got a banner for it. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's
cool stuff. Yeah. He's got some minis and stuff coming out, and yeah, it's gonna be cool. So, but he's gonna come on. He's gonna come on next Tuesday. We're gonna have him on and talk to him about Gonzo and whether we need more of it or not.
Sure.
So, but I guess that's that. I'm gonna fall over pretty soon. So,
yeah, sounds good.
So, guys, thanks everybody for coming. We'll see you guys next week, and we'll see you guys on the other side. So, take care, everybody.
Bye.
See y'all.